You feel good.
Yeah, have fun doing whatever it is instead of pooping.
I think that was probably my favorite part of the whole thing is I'm gonna go do whatever it is instead of pooping.
Easier class feedback? No, that ain't it.
Yeah, are you guys ready?
Who says we haven't been doing it already?
Okay.
Was that our cold open?
I think that was our cold open, was about colostomy bags and pooping substitutions. But that's pretty on brand.
No.
So I think last time I totally didn't even do like an introduction at all. But welcome back to NASA 5E for our Eberron Coast campaign. I am the DM of the day, Corey, and we'll pick up with a recap. Last time we played, you guys took care of some business around the house. Vendy, you made sure that as much work as could be done would be done, so whoever was substituting for you wouldn't fuck up too much of your job, which is very relatable. And then you also left a letter in case you don't return within 5-10 days. Right. In this world, they're called 10 days.
That's actually one of my new bills. Is instead of saying 5-10 days, which is confusing, because it could be 5 to 10 days or 50 days. We're making weeks. We're going on the Gregorian calendar.
I think anybody who is local to this world would know when you said 5-10 days that they were looking for 50 days. But anyway.
Popular vote to find out.
Stock didn't do much, if I remember correctly. Just kind of told Master Tensho, hey, I'm going to be leaving town for... Yes. And you asked Mishan if she wanted to come with, and she was like, wait, so you already know where you're going? And you're like,
No.
No. And she was like, I'm good. But Xanalor had some true errands to run. He went over to the Mages College and had a meeting with Varen regarding his Metal Man, which he now knows is referred to as a Warforged, a being from the Eberron locality. This one is inactive for whatever reason, and it is likely powered by the Kyber shards that have recently come under public scrutiny, as those are apparently charged by shoving elementals inside of them. But thankfully, Varen is cooperating on research on how else maybe to charge dragon Kyber shards with Xanalor. And Varen is doing the slow, arduous task of trying to harness the power of something no one has any control over whatsoever, which might be the magical ley lines. So he's trying not to screw over the plane while also charge these Kyber shards. Xanalor has probably more practical methods in mind, but we don't know because he's Xanalor and he doesn't tell anybody anything, including me, the DM. And also including Eric, who is going to be rather surprised that you've left town again and that you didn't leave a note. Anyway, you guys went back to the shipping guild where you met with Albrecht Cartwright, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty close. I'm the DM and I'm like just like fudging names in my own world. It's fine.
Close enough.
But you met up with him to discuss the logistics. You guys opted to go in the containers. After 4 days and 3.75 nights, the wagon was stopped overnight, and you guys were unloaded from the wagon, some more forcefully than others, and placed into a metal cage in the back of a wagon. After the wagon had set off, Xanalor enacted his mysterious plan, which was to make a man bleed from every orifice. Chaos ensued. More chaos ensued, and then Xanalor cast a spell that was hurting everyone except for Xanalor, which led to more chaos ensuing. Eventually, however, All of the erasers perished, save for the one that Stock was able to lure outside of Chernobyl, and he has bound him. And that's kind of where we're picking up, right after Xanalor has irradiated all of you quite deeply, and you have one captive eraser.
Well, that didn't go quite to plan.
I'm just gonna walk up to Xanalor, hold a finger in his face, and just growl, and then walk back over to the guy that's unconscious.
Okay. Thank you, Bear. That shall be enough.
Boop. I don't know why that double clicked.
Yeah. Xanalor is hiding from his embarrassment from almost killing us all.
Did we lose him?
Yeah. I mean, very much possibly. But he definitely chose the Bard's way to solve problems.
Yep.
He did. I should slide in a disclaimer. As DM/recapper for this adventure, I in fact did not place any bias into my recap. That was the facts as they happened.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was very much a Xanalor development episode.
Which is okay. I am perfectly okay with that.
Scott, are you with us?
All right. Hello.
Hello.
I was casting Greatest Invisibility.
We lost you for a minute there.
Yeah. I'm all good.
You sure?
I think so, yeah.
Are you still loading World 20?
Nope. I'm in.
You're in? Oh, what the heck?
He's doing a thing.
There he is. Hey. Have you washed that eye patch? I mean, you've been wearing it intermittently for like a year.
Don't tell me what to do with my eye patch.
That's fine. I was just curious.
It is the source of COVID.
Yeah.
We found.
You're not Scott's real dad.
I'm not even his fake dad.
Real fake doors.
Andy was saying something when I died.
I said you certainly chose the Bard's way of solving problems.
Who's the Bard?
No, the Royal Bard. The ones that decide to get you out of trouble by getting you first into more trouble.
With your real fake doors.
I don't recall any real fake doors. Did I miss something?
No, it's Stock's favorite Bard.
Okay.
Real fake doors.
Kobolds in his eye, Johnson.
Well, I think we should load the bodies on the cart.
I mean, for the massive party foul, I think there's one of us who should be loading the bodies on the cart.
Party foul.
The rest of us have to get rid of this radiation sickness that you've given us. Like, I'm already losing my hair. In the last campaign, I shed a fake beard. Now I'm shedding all my real hair.
I'm turning into a hairless ape.
We should work on helping you avoid that in the future.
Cancer? From the spell that you cast?
The effects won't be lasting.
Oh, now look, he's a doctor too.
Speaking of which, the effect's not lasting now that Chernobyl has in fact gone away. The hit points that you lost are very much real, but the points of exhaustion that you incurred are gone.
Yay!
That seems weird.
That is in fact the spell.
Damn.
I have to think about you being irradiated.
Don't think that makes it any better. Because
I
you had to think about irradiating all of us.
The spirit of the spell is like you would cast that so that someone would be stuck in it as long as possible and then have to incur as many penalties by failing their save on their way out of the spell.
And not being able to get out.
That was helpful too. Yeah, that was a good combination there. of what, like 5th level spells, but still.
I only get 2.
They're all
I'm gonna
5th level
add them
spells.
together.
Scott's lucky we all abandoned that space, otherwise he would have been responsible for a virtual TPK.
I would have pulled you out.
It would have been a TPK because he still would have been alive.
Yeah, right. Xanalor, go ahead and make a strength check for me. Or strength.
I don't think it makes a difference, because either way it's a 4.
All right. Go ahead and roll a d10 for me.
Ooh. That's a 9.
All right. It takes you almost a half hour to load these bodies up onto the wagon, but you do get them all crammed into the cage.
Cool.
I do have to ask, the guy who ran off, who was killed by you, are you also going and dragging him?
That was the plan.
Okay. That's the one that probably takes the longest. And you wish you had started with that one, because at least then the rest would be close, but you actually did that one last, so you were the most tired.
I just keep stopping like every 5 feet.
Yeah.
I also imagine at one point Vendi begins to like regret being like, oh, you're doing this by yourself, starts to step, and then Stock just grabs his shoulder and pulls him back.
That sounds about right.
Yes, it does.
Stock, I remember you had, in fact, you had tied up your prisoner.
Yes.
Is there anything that you guys want to do before whatever happens with the prisoner happens?
So what's the plan with that one? Why did you leave him?
Well, for somebody who murders everybody and talks to strange journals for information, we need to know where we need to go.
We could just talk to the dead ones.
Yeah, but they're already dead. They have no fear of death. This guy's still afraid of dying.
You raised your hand.
How does one talk to dead things? Dead things usually remain pretty silent.
And I think we need to revoke Xanalor's magic ability, availability, or rights to his magic for a little while.
Yeah, Xanalor, I gotta be honest with you. You've been doing some weird shit lately.
And not like good weird.
And like, what scares me the most is you make it sound like it's all so normal. Like, I don't know. Let's just talk to dead things.
Let's irradiate my friends.
Did you?
I didn't realize that would work that way.
Did you spend too much time in a cemetery as a kid? Does Xanalor have like one like little streak of colored hair?
Walks around with shrunken heads or some shit.
Does he only wear black?
I do mostly wear black, and my hair is completely dyed.
Oh, Stock.
Kill him?
You never asked until now. Are you a goth kid?
I'm pretty sure I've explained why I am how I am.
I don't know.
The inside of your book just a bunch of like emotive poetry?
I gave them a version of my whole story.
A version.
Yeah.
Well, after you irradiated all of us, I don't know how much I trust that version.
I've got chemo brain. I hate it.
No, you're right. I shouldn't have. Some of this is new, and I'm not always sure how to control it. So I'll be more careful.
Well, if you look around us, look at all of this free open space with no people for you to hurt that you could experiment in.
I'm not interested in hurting people.
Exactly. That's why you have all of this free open space with nobody to hurt.
I mean, I'd say it's more obsessed, but
This is a bit more space than your usual practice grounds.
Look, there's a rabbit over there. You can kill it.
no,
And it won't affect us. I'll eat it for dinner.
no. I am. Murdering people is one thing, but I draw the line at animals that aren't attacking us.
I'm not murdering people. I killed human traffickers.
Hey, what's in the fucking wagon?
Okay.
Human traffickers.
And were they actively attacking us when you decided to make one bleed out of every orifice and then
That wasn't
try to
me.
kill everybody with the nuclear leak?
They were attacking me.
Yeah, they attacked
How many-
stock.
Everybody attacks stock.
Only stupid
Even
people.
my own wolves have attacked stock, and yet I'm still alive.
So you just want to leave stock to be attacked while handcuffed.
He's a big boy. He can defend himself. Oh no, I poked him in the shoulder. Should I die now?
I mean, if you want to, I can kill you.
I'm being rhetorical.
Gesundheit, and you might want to get that looked at.
Are we really bad at being heroes?
I may have been a bit hasty in this situation. I
think that's the closest we're going to get to an apology.
I'll take it.
All right. So we got the alive guy. How much does he hurt us just bicker with each other?
He's unconscious. He's quite unconscious.
Okay.
He has the your typical stock stamp of unconsciousness, which is the very particular shape of the butt end of his glaive right here.
I'm going to use Cure Wounds as a druid spell instead of the spells of the mark. No, I take it back. Cure Wounds, spells of the mark. So it only gives 1d8 hit points. Which is good because he only gets 8 instead of 13 if I did it as me.
Yeah. That's not what I'm looking for. I just want to look at something really quick.
Ugh.
Oh, okay. So I think this is the first time you've used your dragon mark, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And your dragon mark is located on your neck, right?
Yes.
Yes. So it's on your neck. So as you focus on this sort of innate healing ability within you, you notice that the mark on the side of your neck begins to tickle, actually, quite a lot.
Stop it!
I had forgotten for a moment that there are quirks to dragon marks, such as Xanalor's tingles when he's around people with the same mark. Which I did sort of allude to, like when you were in the streets and stuff after it came up, but
you did say there's a sensation. What was it, around people or something? What did you call it?
Yeah, it was like randomly around, like
not around party members, and
yeah. And Stock, you've seen other people's dragon marks, so you know that yours is different because of the fact that yours is Vanta black, but no one else has seen that in the party, at least. All right, so you cast Cure Wounds on the captive. He
as soon as he wakes up, I'm just gonna crouch down to his level, and I'm just gonna ask him, "Hey, Ben thinks he can talk with the dead. That's creepy as hell. What are your?"
What?
Yeah, that was my first reaction too. Like Xanalor, tell him. Watch it. He's gonna tell you.
He like looks around and like kind of like tries to look like past you guys, and then like you hear him like kind of strain against the ropes. He goes,
"Oh, by the way, we tied you
shit.
up.
This isn't good."
Oh, it could be actually very good for you.
How do you figure?
I'm trying to figure out how, but it could be.
You could escape a life of doing this.
You guys aren't very good at this. Maybe you should choose a new career path?
Not very good at what?
Kidnapping people.
I'm very good at this, actually.
Well, then why are you the one that's kidnapped?
And tied up.
I'm the one who's alive. I don't know what it is about you freaks that has thwarted us, but I have made 13 successful runs. So
13 successful runs to where?
That sounds like the fakest number you could have picked.
I know. I think
Insight.
he's full of shit.
go ahead and make an insight check.
Sorry, do I believe him? 20 total.
It's probably more like 9, but it's still more than 1. It's not his first trip.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the case, I've killed 13 Tarasques.
I highly doubt that.
Well, that's the level I doubt what you say too.
Okay. Are you gonna make more fart smells?
If you don't tell us what you want.
I proceed to fart. I rolled an 18 on my fart check.
Stock farts.
I cast Druidcraft. Which one smelled worse?
Yes. What do you want from me?
Who are you working for? Where are we going? How many people are there currently, alive and or dead? Who's in charge? You know, the usual stuff.
What was going to happen to us?
Yeah, where do you take people?
Do you
That's
know who's in charge of the orders and things like that? How much do you know already?
Enough.
Well, I know you're tied up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Love you. You are the one that has the chance to save your own life or die a very painful, slow one.
Let's have the 3 of you make a persuasion check. Since you all kind of chipped in on this one.
16 total.
Instead, can I just help Xanalor and give him advantage?
I'm actually going to just take an average of you 3, so I think it's probably about the same anyway.
I rolled a 15.
Okay, Xanalor, roll for me then.
I'm rolling for...
You're taking advantage if it's all the same.
Well, I rolled a 16 on this d20. I'm a +9 for persuasion.
Okay.
So I'm not
Because
sure.
I was intending to offer the help action. And
Right, and I would have said yes to that until Stock then weighed in too. So then it was the 3 of you all persuading.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 16 for a 16.
Okay. So the guy says, all right, you asked a lot of questions. The guy in charge is Count Wellanir. I'm assuming that's the guy who's going to be in charge of my execution after you guys let me go, if you do. You really don't know. I guess we're doing it. You don't know where we were going.
We don't know where we were going yet. I cast Druidcraft.
It's called Folter Todeslager. It's deep in the mountains. It was going to be about 20 days from here. Because we don't go through the Eldine reaches. 10 days, yep.
Yeah.
Because we don't go through the Eldine reaches.
Why?
Too much trouble with the elves of the Rael dynasty. It didn't cut that much time off either, but it was more of a hassle to deal with them being, why are you on our lands every single time? What else did you ask?
Was that the last step? Are you asking us, like, what else did we ask before this?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Stock also said who's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
We got
I gave you
that.
that one already.
Oh,
So I
sorry.
I asked what was going to happen to us when we got there.
Yeah.
That much I don't really know.
Do I believe him?
Go ahead and make an insight check.
Well, 3 plus 9.
You get the sense that there's a little bit more to it, but you're not sure what. It doesn't seem like he's like hiding information necessarily, but you gather that he knows like a little bit more about sort of the nature of what would happen, not necessarily what exactly would happen.
I cast Tradecraft.
We can smell that too.
I cast it again.
Shit.
It's
Time to take advantage of this. And I stop breathing.
that
Look at what you're doing to him. You're killing him by not giving us the answer. Diffuse the smell with your truth. I cast Tradecraft again.
there are. I think I heard one of you ask how many are where we're going.
Oh yeah, Mike did ask that also.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hundreds.
Good people or bad people?
There are hundreds of marked already captured at
How,
Folter Todeslager.
how many erasers there?
There? None. It's really just kind of a. I mean, it's like asking how many delivery drivers are at a warehouse. I guess that
How
doesn't
many,
really
how many
track what are warehouses. Sorry, my nose is bleeding.
how many unmarked?
I don't know the actual, like, without having spent any time at Folter Todeslager, I don't really know how many people Wellenir has working for him.
And what's your usual like entry system? Do you have to go check at a gate
Yeah.
and they check your cargo? Or do you just take it in yourself and dump it with the rest?
Pretty much, yeah. There's not really like a gatehouse or anything like that. There's a gate. Traffic is like monitored, but not. I don't know. There's not anybody standing outside the gate.
And do you all know each other?
No, not really.
Were they all wearing kind of the same uniform?
Much like the erasers that you ran into in Winter's Haven itself, there are like similarities between their garb, as if they've all been like basically given outfits at the same place, kind of, but like there isn't like a uniform or anything like that. I've been with a couple of these guys. Like one guy, this is my first trip with him. A couple of the other guys I've done a few with.
All right.
I mean, we're freelancers essentially. When the orders come in, we do it.
Yeah.
So you're to let me go.
Are we going to let him go?
I don't remember promising anything.
If we do choose to let you go, you're going butt naked.
Well, we promised humiliation, apparently.
Okay, I guess. Can I at least have like a knife or something?
Nope.
Why would we give you a weapon?
So I can defend myself? I don't know.
I will give you a single crossbow bolt
That's something.
that doesn't have a tip, also known as a stick.
Yeah, it's a stick. It's a stick with some feathers on it.
If we let you go, what are you going to do next? Is it a continuation of this chapter of your life, or are you going to start a new one?
I mean, I guess I'd be trying to hide somewhere so that Wellenir doesn't find me. That'd be nice. Because otherwise this pardon or whatever you want to call it that your guys are giving me is going to be pretty short-lived.
Speaking
If
of
I
which,
may
and
suggest something,
more importantly, what is your name?
Steve.
And
Sure,
a punch to
dude.
the face.
If you're looking for a new lease on life, you can at the Neverwinter Technical Trade Schools, where you can pick up a new lease on life through one of our 39 different concentrations.
Not a good time for a plug.
Actually, let's. I have a proposal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared.
There's a city that was abandoned.
Oh god, the cult city again?
I'm rebuilding it, and the problem is there's no road. So I'm making an offer to people who help build the road that they'll be looked after.
Oh yeah, I do recall you saying. Okay.
What's
Okay.
the name of that town again, Xanalor?
It was once called Sharn in the before times.
No.
In the before
What's the now times?
Xanaloria.
Real creative, huh?
So wait, your name is Xanalor,
Yes.
and you named the town Xanaloria.
It needed
Yes.
a new lease on life.
He controls
Just
the
like you do.
entire city.
Sure. I mean, hey, that's how most villages get their start. Is somebody's got money and names a village after themselves, and then people move there.
Yeah.
I guess. Where is this at?
You'll find it.
Far to the south.
In your bum.
I don't actually remember exactly. I just remember it's kind of in the wastes somewhere.
Mhm.
But I would know where it is, right?
Yeah. Here, let me pull up the map
Then
and show you, so that I can remind myself as well.
past the demon waste. Yeah.
Urgh.
Yeah. So you guys are roughly here,
So it's
and
So,
yeah,
yeah.
it's south of the demon
all the way
Wastes.
down the coast and then across south of the demon wastes. That's what it is. And we need to connect it to Baldur's Gate.
Okay. So I just go to.
Go
Let's-
go to. I would start at. Well, maybe you could be a part of the group that actually surveys where the road should be built. But starting at Baldur's Gate and out to the city of Sharn, Xanaloria.
Sure. Yeah. Well, now I'm going to be looking for work, and that's pretty far away. I mean, Baldur's Gate is a hub city, so I guess that could be better, but
Well, it's better than
better
being dead.
it's better than going to Waterdeep, I guess.
Also, take this with you, and I hand him the book After the Before Life by Dr. Cassius Hole.
After the before life by Dr. Catches.
Well played.
Hey,
So
I don't
you-
know. I don't know if Corey can grant you inspiration, but the next time you have a contested check against me, you have player-based inspiration.
Yeah, no, definitely take inspiration for tying in the history. So you go to hand this guy a book. He's still tied up, so you like hold it out to him, and when he doesn't reach for it, you just like kind of patronizingly like place it on his chest and pat the book.
So what do we say? Is it time for him to leave?
I don't have any more questions for him. Do you guys?
I have a question. If it, I know you said that you were gonna send me away naked, and I suppose I understand. But if I'm gonna make it all the way to Baldur's Gate,
After a cavity check.
I think Stock's more interested in the nudity than the rest of us.
I
Is there,
wanna
like,
Yeah,
laugh at
I was
his-
just gonna make you leave with a contract if you promise not to kill us.
I want to laugh at his small, hairless body.
There's 3 of you and 1 of me, and that guy has a really, really good swing. And he motions at Stock.
And I saved your life.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
ask
true.
you what you thought was smart. I asked what you were going to do.
I'm not gonna try to kill you guys. I'm a mercenary. I'm not an idiot.
I've seen
You-
plenty of
you-
people who are both.
And
You
he's under my
captured us.
employ now.
And I work for Xanaloria.
See, he gets it.
Okay, cool.
I
right.
want to see
I-
your signed work papers.
He just looks panicked back at you, Xanaloria.
I was trying to keep it off the books.
Taxable income and all that. I just learned about that last week.
I just
Yeah.
what do I do? I have minor illusion. I cast minor illusion and hold up a scroll to Stock.
Are you trying to hide that you're casting minor illusion?
Not really.
Magic Man, you're already on short terms with me.
How'd you get that out from the pocket dimension?
It's a new trick I've learned.
It's a rope trick, so to speak.
All right,
You're-
we'll let you keep your left shoe. How about that?
I would really like to not die of exposure / being eaten by a bear. So if I
He's-
could like,
I think basic
This-
clothing is fair. Just no.
This
like,
is his sense of humor. He's gonna keep on saying it as long as you keep on getting freaked out by it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you've become accustomed to it, but I can't help but react.
Look,
Man.
look.
The man wants to send me naked.
He's
Through the
playing.
wilds.
He's playing a game called Chicken, and he's trying to make you feel like a fool. If instead you just double down and act like you like whatever he's going to propose, he'll still like that too. But at least you'll have some fun.
Mm-hmm. All you had to do was play along.
Oh, there it is.
Like, for example, hey, Stock, remember that one time when we got into a duel and then I made a whole bunch of wolves, like, almost murder you?
Yes.
That was fun.
Yes. We need to do that again. Not right now, because we've been irradiated.
True. All right, I'm going to untie the ropes.
I am going to just take his hand and pull out a dagger and say, just to remember your commitment, and just lightly just carve an X on his hand, back of his hand.
We'll be watching you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you ever back in, we left Waterdeep, correct? Or was it Fairhaven?
It was
Winter's Haven.
Winter's Haven, yeah. If you're ever back there, swing by my Adventurers Guild and tell Master Tencho what you did. He will get a kick out of it.
Something tells me he's not going to do that.
If I find myself in Winter's Haven again, I will do that. I'm going to be trying to avoid major cities for a bit, though. As I said, I don't want to be executed by Count Wellenir, so I kind of want to stay under the radar. And I feel like going to Winter's Haven is definitely not under the radar. I don't know what that term means. Why do we say that? What is a radar?
I believe it's something fish have.
Why is your nose bleeding?
I don't know. It keeps doing this, though.
Quick, time traveler says what?
What's your real name, bitch?
I didn't give him a name. I don't name everything you fight.
And that is why I have a random name generator always pulled up.
He'll get it.
His name is this Bandit Steve.
His
I'll
name
name
is
him
Inigo Montoya, and we killed his father. Prepare to die.
Oh. I will name him later, okay?
Okay. I accept these terms and conditions.
I expect to come across him at least 3 more times in this campaign.
Will you two quit being morons?
I'll try.
At that point, I'm gonna get on the front of the wagon.
Well, do we want to talk to all these dead guys?
Do we need to?
Still
I feel
not
like
sure
we
that
know
we
what
can
we're
do
doing.
that.
Well, shouldn't we spot check our information instead of just taking it at face value?
Fair enough.
Also, Zanlor, make a perception check for me while you're at the front of the wagon there.
16, I believe, plus 0. Yeah.
The wagon may be largely useless as the horses seem to have succumbed to some sort of radiation poisoning.
So I get on the front.
Should
and
we
I'm like,
tell
"Oh,
him the horses are dead? I say to Vendi.
He'll find out.
He'll figure it out.
I do. That won't help. Well, it won't be very effective. Why don't we take a quick break?
Why doesn't everybody make an intelligence check for me at that?
Ba-ba-ba-da-da-ba.
Uh,
I rolled a 15.
22. Maximum score.
You said a 5, Xanalor? Okay. That makes sense since you wouldn't even have considered this because you don't sleep. Stock and Vendi, you realize it is the middle of the night. You were awoken during your long rest by a group of people stealing you. You knew it was happening, but you were asleep nonetheless. So Xanalor's break actually sounds quite good, as it is pitch dark and the middle of the night.
Hey, Zanalor, you know that torch you're carrying? There's a reason for it. And I just point up into the sky.
oh, look at that.
You know, kids.
Millennials.
I guess we should take a little bit of a break.
And who knows, maybe even the horses will be better after this.
Fucking funny guy.
All right, so you guys are in fact taking a long rest.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Who is doing what for watch? Xanalor probably going to have to take 2 of them.
Zanalor's taking all of them.
Yeah, I can help.
That is also an option.
Since his brain sleeps.
All right, so why don't we just have you make just give me 4 perception checks.
19, 20, 2, 20.
Okay. So the night goes relatively calmly from here on. You note that your party members fall asleep, both of which are facing you as their trust level in you has taken a bit of a hit recently. What's that?
Can't imagine why.
Yeah, right. But otherwise, I mean, it's relatively calm. The eerie glow and Geiger counter sound appears to have driven off most wildlife in the area. It's actually kind of eerie quiet once everyone's kind of settled in for the night and stuff. You do note that Bandit Steve, he does make his way kind of like out of eye shot of you guys, but with with some of your perception checks, you do note that he goes actually a short distance away, and like kind of like makes a quick little lean-to out of sticks and stuff and goes to sleep, hopefully out of eye shot of you guys. The sun comes up, and probably a couple hours later, given the time frame for everything, is when Stock and Vendy start to stir for the morning. And you guys, you wake up. Now that it's pretty brightly lit, you see that you are on a, I want to call it a relatively new and unused sort of looking trail. Like you can see some of the like paths. The way the path was cut, some of the trees are still relatively green even. So the trails have been. This is a way for them to kind of skip an area on this trail so that they can get back onto the tradeway, or to get onto the long road, but do so without basically doing it where like the wagon that's doing the transporting of the original goods from the Merchants Guild would see them or anything like that. So it's kind of, it's not necessarily a shortcut, it's just a through cut.
A through cut.
All right, so what do we do about the horses?
They're dead.
Flies are definitely buzzing around them. It's getting to the point now where like there's so many flies that like it's like audible from behind the wagon even.
I have an idea, but even if it works, it's probably not going to last longer than like an hour.
You're gonna talk to them?
Talk to who?
The horses.
I don't think that would help.
Well,
Rashad, do you know anything about maybe finding horses or something?
I can do some things that could be
Billy.
helpful, but they're short-term fixes.
Yes.
For example, I could call some horse friends that I know. I could become a horse. But we would need to get to the absolute closest city we can get to in order to call more permanent solutions.
Right.
I could turn you into a horse.
How many horses were originally pulling this wagon?
2, given the size of the wagon with the hefty iron barred cage on it.
How many could possibly?
You know that through the use of Druidcraft, you may be able to change the rigging a little bit to accommodate a third horse, but go ahead and make a survival check for me, Vendy.
That's all Vendy basically does. $14.
Okay. You know that based on like sort of the heavy duty nature of the cart itself, as it is accommodating that large steel cage, it would not be like if there was one horse, it could do the wagon. It would have to do half days, and there could be no one else on the wagon.
Well, we could dump the dead bodies off of it.
We might need those though.
Do we need them, or do we need their clothes?
Can all of you guys make a survival check for me? This is because you've been relatively close to this area.
I got
24.
Okay.
12.
12. Okay. Vendy, you know that you're probably a couple hours based on the travel that happened. You're a couple hours from where you departed the high road in the Sword Mountains. You could go back and go to Winter's Haven. You also know that like a couple days journey, you could get to Tribor and get some horses there pretty relatively easily, especially as you recall, Tribor was mostly a livestock trading hub anyway.
Here's my suggestion.
Mhm.
For about, hold on, let me make sure, 3 hours a day, I could make sure that we all have individual horses and then some. Moving as absolutely quickly as possible through the Sword Mountains. And then ultimately our goal is to get to Tribor. Once I'm out of the ability to conjure horses, I can turn myself into a single horse
Mhm.
and continue to pull the wagon. Alternatively, we could ditch this wagon, just set it on fire, and we could move much faster just trying to pull ourselves.
The concern I have with ditching the wagon is actually getting in once we arrive. I feel like it could be our sort of Trojan horse.
Okay, so then if I had even 3 seconds to think about how to counteract this, they would probably have some sort of sign and countersign, which we don't know. They probably would have some log of the mercenaries that they've actually hired, which we aren't.
Sure, but I'm pretty good at convincing people I'm who they want me to be.
Yes, convincing somebody that's people that stock is not stock.
Yeah, good luck with that.
You can put stock in
Yeah.
the back.
After what you did earlier, no way in hell am I going in a cage.
Unlocked.
Here's something I would suggest. Maybe trying to schmooze our way past is the stupidest way and will definitely get most of us killed. Maybe instead, we just need to get there and then we'll figure out what to do after that. Because if it comes down to it, we just have to wait for another group of mercenaries to come out, we can hijack their shit, find out what their mission is, and just come back and say something went wrong. We came back empty-handed.
Mm.
Like specifically, this wagon is a liability for us getting there right now. And if it's found, it's a liability because now they're on heightened alert.
Right, that might be another reason to take it with us, though.
I was going to say burn it to the ground.
We'd have to leave no trace, though. There's iron. We especially don't want to do it on their trail.
Yeah. Or longest case here, we drag it to Tribor and then we sell it. As a mercenary needing money, of course they'll sell something that's not theirs to sell.
Sure.
But where do we have to get this to? Folter.
Folter Todeslager. I did put it up on the map. This is generally the area that you think it might be. You don't have like exact, but
he said it would be through the Elden Reaches, but they don't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and deep in the mountains.
Yeah, because I would have argued it's probably better to go through the Elden Reaches.
For us?
Yeah, and that would make it harder for us to bring that wagon through. Because if we brought that wagon, I'm sure they saw it. The elves be like, "Oh, you guys are people that like to trespass," and when we can come in and go, like, "Oh no, we're refugees.
Yeah.
We're just wandering, trying to get away from something." Having that wagon makes it a lot harder to believe our lie.
Having it full of dead erasers, though? Is that better or worse?
That doesn't mean that we're their friends, just we have a common enemy. We're good. I think if we're trying to get there as fast as possible, we might have to project that we're weaker than we actually are and have them pity us as opposed to fear us. Because if we get
close,
easiest way through it would just us coming in saying, "Hey, we're refugees. We don't want to be on your land. Just let us pass through."
In Eldin reaches, sure, that is probably
Yeah.
the path. I think once we actually arrive at a destination, I think I can find other ways to get past. Perhaps you're right. So let's you knew the direction. Let's try to make our way. But we'll need to move the wagon off the trail a bit and destroy it.
Are we destroying it or are we selling it?
Either way.
Okay. I will cast my first of 3 conjure animals in order to bring 8 horses.
Okay.
Connect 2 to the wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, hold up before I do that. So bodies, we got to destroy them as well.
Yes.
Probably take their clothes in case we actually want to try some smooths. Leave options open. Anything else? Because the lighter we can make that wagon, the faster we can all move and get out of here.
What would you suggest?
Find somewhere just slightly off this trail. Start a fire. Prepare for bad smells. And I cast Druidcraft.
Are you guys debating something, or are you waiting on me to make DM story magic happen?
A little bit of both, maybe.
Okay.
Why don't we just take everything as is, and then we'll deal with it further down the road.
Probably bringing the dead bodies not a good idea, though.
Because we only have 3 hours of the horses per day.
Okay.
And if we're trying to move as fast as possible, any extra weight will make us more vulnerable on the trip to Tribor.
And the smell will attract undue attention from people and creatures alike.
Okay.
Mm.
I would be very slow at building a fire or digging a hole.
By all means, Xanler, further highlight your utility on this trip.
Yeah, I guess I will cast make sure I have this right.
Man, if only I had a tinder box and I could just start a fire.
It's too bad we don't have that.
I mean,
oh wait, I have a tinderbox.
I have a spell, and we had a long rest where I could have taken a spell, create bonfire.
Mm-hmm.
I just have to look to see what level that is.
Okay, that's fine.
Hold on one second.
Tell you what, while you look that up, you guys think about a little bit how you're gonna get rid of these bodies, and let's take a quick 5 so I can run to the bathroom. Cool.
Okie dokie.
The best part is it's a cantrip.
You guys are in peak kind of doofus / planning today. It's an interesting dichotomy. I was reminded though by Jay saying something about a cantrip that we hit level 12 recently in Raph's campaign, and I wanted to look to see what I got at level 12 because there's nothing on the table which would indicate that it's probably a level for my class to grant me something, right?
If it's 12, yeah, 12 should be a class thing, right? No, 11's a class thing.
Is 11 a class thing?
I think so. I could be wrong. That's how I remember it being.
Yeah.
What class?
Storm Sorcerer.
Just gonna see if I can understand.
So create bonfire is a cantrip, so I switched out produce flame for create bonfire.
Okay.
And it is a 5-foot cube of fire.
Mm-hmm.
Dex save of 17, and 2d8 fire damage for every 6 seconds you're in the fire.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you get anything other than ability.
So if anything, creating the bonfire, like getting the wagon somewhere. Actually, this is another thing to consider.
What's the duration for create bonfire?
It's not
concentration long. Up to 1 minute. But okay. Here's the thing. Taking this may end up making the decision for us to burn the wagon. The fire itself only lasts for a minute, but if we can get the wagon to catch, that will take care of all of the bodies as well.
Maybe it's better if the wagon is found. Yeah. If it's found, it's burned, and with the body, something happens.
Can I get
not sure.
So I want a survival and an arcana check. You guys can decide who gives me what.
I'm not touching survival.
I'll do survival because I'm +9.
Okay.
I'm no good at either.
I'm 18. Not good at arcana, but I know that somebody else is.
I have a +2 to arcana.
Let's just let Vendy be the bonfire guy.
Okay, so with your 18, Vendy.
And a 20 on arcana.
Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of information here. So you will know, Jay, it's no surprise, that crematoriums have to get incredibly hot to reduce a human body to ashes. You will also note, as Vendy with your survival check, that while a wagon fire would probably render the corpses unrecognizable, they would still definitely be charred corpses there. But you also know that with create bonfire being an arcane sort of fire, with enough time, you could you could cremate the remains without getting rid of the wagon if you want.
Cremate is a bit of a strong term because I don't want to reduce everything to ash. I want to make sure that it looks like it was an accident, or it looks like there was a fire as opposed to there was a battle.
Okay, that's my mistake. I figured you were doing this like off of their path to try to hide the fact that they had even died here.
So if Vendy is trying to find the quickest way to Tribor, so I think in his mind, being found isn't the problem. Being seen, like making this clearly the cover up would be worse than just saying, "Oh, it's found," but all right, there's a fire. So
okay.
He's more interested in if there's a tree nearby that looks like it took some damage from a thunderstorm, move the wagon right by there, and then just say, "Oh, the fire, like the tree fell, hit the wagon, and that's why it's on fire." It's just coming down towards like whatever thinly veiled reason where a brain would immediately go, "Oh, okay, I can solve that without having to think."
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Xanalar, can you make a perception check for me with advantage?
Ooh, advantage. Advantage 16.
16. Okay. So as you see Vendi kind of like looking around, kind of as you guys are starting to stage things at Vendi's directions, since he's the magic fire guy, Xanalor, you you have kind of a brainwave. This is not your first arson. They don't know that, but this is not your first arson. So you are able to help with your perception check and Vendi's survival check and the arcana check and all that stuff. All that stuff combined, you guys are able to stage a very good arson scene, essentially. Like, it looks like the wagon caught on fire. The path that you guys dragged the wagon in, you're able to, like, cut down trees, and so it looks like the wagon like crashed into the woods.
Okay.
Xanalor used like a torch to kind of like fire up some of the. So it looks like the wagon caught fire on the path. The horses got spooked.
Yeah.
And the wagon careened off into the uncut part of the forest surrounding this trail in the Sword Mountains. And with the application of the Create Bonfire, you guys are able to reduce the wagon to charred timber. The bodies are quite well burnt. The iron cage, actually, as you guys are doing this fire, the iron cage does get really hot, and whatever the pins were used to like keep it all together, it like kind of collapses. And at one point during the fire, the cage like crashes and like sets more of the wagon on fire and like kind of like melts through one of the wheels of the wagon. It's pretty. There's a lot of carnage, but it looks pretty good. Xanalor, you're like, yep, that's what artisan looks like.
I'm a little conflicted. I think about casting Cure Wounds on the tree that Xanalor torched.
So Vendi, you see that the trees are scorched, but they will survive. This is far less damage than they would sustain even during a normal forest fire. Which as a druid, it happens. A lot, but it happens.
I still put my hand on the tree. I was like, still sorry.
Go ahead and make a nature check for me.
Trees don't talk.
I know.
7.
7. Okay. Yeah. So, Stock, all this looks great to you. Vendi, you are quite satisfied with the staging of the wagon and the bodies. Everything looks good. I'm assuming you guys did something with the horses as well.
Yeah, we brought them along.
They would have been at the front of the wagon, just cooked.
Sure.
Gastrocraft. But
Anybody else hungry?
This time, giving us the smell of running that we don't throw up from charred flesh.
The smell of what? Wildflowers?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just every once in a while, there's just a burst of wildflower in your nose as you see Vendi trying to.
Stock's just there going, I could go for some barbecue right about now.
Okay, so guys, go ahead and make a survival check for me. Anyone who wants to. Xanalor, you seem to be pretty aloof in these things because you don't know anything that's going on.
I'm terrible at it, yeah.
I got a natural 20 for a 22.
Okay.
I got a 13 for a 22.
Okay. So Vendi and Stock, you guys realize that given the time you woke up today and the time it took to get this all set up and then done, it's a little bit past noon now. Stock, since you got a natural 20, you also note the time of year and the elevation that you're at, and you realize that it's going to start getting dark in about 4 hours.
Okay.
So you've got roughly a half day of travel that you guys can do.
That actually is not too bad for us because we can use 3 of those 4 hours at an expeditious pace.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then, if that's the case, you know what? I could always make it last a little bit longer. It's just going to start taking more and more energy as I do it. All right, cool. Yeah, so I will use my 3 third-level spells to make sure that we have horses for 3 hours.
Okay.
And then assuming we still want to travel, use a 4th level spell to continue the effect.
Okay, so pause right there. Don't spend them all just yet.
I've only spent the first one.
Okay, perfect. I'm down with this plan. I totally get what
Mhm.
you're saying. So you are wanting to move at an expeditious pace, right? Like you're not too worried about these Fey horses. You know they're going to get a nice sleep when they get back to the Feywild.
Yes.
So you're not worried about pushing them at a fast travel pace, correct?
As fast as we can safely get through.
Okay. So can I have you guys, as you're riding, make perception checks for me?
All right.
Luna, lay down.
9.
14.
16.
16. Okay. Xanilor, you're going fast. You're like, yeah, we're cooking. Yeah. Stock and Vendi, you guys note that you've traveled about twice as far in this hour as you were able to really any other time you took anything. So you guys are moving at a good pace. The ground is worn in enough from the wagons that it's not very difficult to traverse it with the horses at this pace. You do note, however, that you've had a hard time kind of keeping your keeping an eye on things, right? Like you're kind of going too fast to keep a Stock. You feel this one specifically. The pace is a little bit too quick to keep a good click on what's going on around you.
Okay.
So while you guys are able to travel double quick, it's half as easy to just try to spot dangers and stuff like that. Granted, during this time, you guys did not see anything that looked to be a potential hazard in the wilds around you. So the Vendi, you've been kind of keeping track. Your survival skills are kind of on point today. I'm going to give this one to you because you've been rolling real high in survival checks today, and it sounds like you've got like a +9 to that.
Correct.
Okay, so you're pretty good with survival stuff. Not quite keen mind levels of knowing what time it is, but you guys, you hear as Vendi kind of gives a shout to woe you guys up before the horses just disappear back into the Feywild underneath you. So you come to a safe stop, you hop off, and as Vendi starts explaining why you've stopped, and you guys start, kind of recollecting, the horses go back to the Feywild.
Yeah. So I would also put down like this is probably likely due to how many times I've had to conjure animals before. It just becomes like an innate feeling.
Mhm.
And with like maybe a minute to go, I'll halt the horses, tell
Mhm.
everyone quickly to get off, and as soon as that happens, they're gone. And then 30 seconds later, new horses right where they were. They all look different.
Cool. All right. Are you guys maintaining the same travel pace for this hour?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I'm happy to.
Okay.
What Vendi would probably think, because he knows the like lack of awareness, is for the first 3 hours, it's get there as fast as possible.
Mhm.
The 4th hour is now we're going back to a regular speed so we can get a lay of the land around us.
Okay.
So the first
All right.
3 hours are on a sprint. The last hour is normal pace.
Okay, cool. All right. So you're able to traverse. I'm going to move you guys up. So because of the expedited pace, because of the relative kind of spryness of the Fey horses, you guys are actually able to make up the ground that you lost essentially by losing a half a day due to rest and setting up an arson. So you feel pretty good about where you're at. Vendi, tomorrow's going to be a long day, but you guys have made pretty good headway. Probably about 2 days outside of Tribor yet.
And that's adjusted for our pace limitations, or if we were doing normal traveling days.
If it was a normal travel day,
Okay, so it's like
I'll leave.
it's really 4 days.
It's 2 full travel days. You can cut it down if you're able to maintain a fast travel pace the entire time.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys, you arrive at the end of the 4th hour of Feyhorse
Let's
travel.
try it. Let me mark off those spells.
And you head off the trail a little bit. I shouldn't have said that. Where do you guys want to make camp?
Well,
It's
since you live
relatively
off the trails,
I said that, but
Yeah.
I realized while saying it that that's not my decision to make. The trail that you guys are on is a relatively new cut, but less worn. Really only used by the Erasers trail, and on either side of you are relatively untamed wilds. Essentially, don't have kind of the wider berths of the normal trade routes at your disposal just yet.
What do you guys suggest? This is not my area of expertise.
I would say off the trail to some extent.
sorry, I'll need you guys to decide amongst yourselves. Quite tired trying to keep a connection with the Fey world.
Off the trail it is.
Follow Stock's lead.
I do, just slightly slower than Zanalor's.
All right, so you guys, you find a space where there's like a small clearing. It's probably about a 7 by 7 foot clearing. So like it's tight, but it's not so open that like you feel like someone could like get in there easily. And it's also not so closed off that like you don't have room to sleep. Like I mean that's like the size of a room, you know, give or take. So, do you guys make a fire or anything like that for the night?
I would say a small, relatively smokeless fire, if possible.
I don't know if the bonfires I make are inherently smokeless.
Something, either that or put something up to kind of block the firelight from the road. So we are not as readily visible.
No, that doesn't last long enough.
I just want to look. I'm going to look at the create bonfire spell really quick to see how it's worded, to see how much wiggle room I have.
Well, you are the DM. You can wiggle the room as much as you want.
Okay. Yeah. So, Vendi, you're able to manipulate to some extent, at least, the size of this bonfire. Like, we're not talking like, you know, the mountain of pallets bonfire that we had at homecoming at DHS kind of thing, but
Yeah.
it's essentially like you can create a fire. If it's in a 5-foot cube, you know, like that's typically the size that we would dedicate anyway to your campfire.
Yeah, I mean the reason why I'm thinking the way that I think is it's like create bonfire as opposed to produce flame, because it's bonfire. It's a very specific style of fire.
Right. Yeah. This would be like you can create a campfire at will.
Yeah.
Whereas like produce flame is like you can make a flame that you can throw or use to burn things or whatever. So
Yeah,
it's a
so,
little
like-
less versatile, but great for camping.
Yeah, so I mean, it just comes down to if we want to make sure that there's no smoke, I can't deal with that. The big things I can do is I can, like, it only lasts for an hour. I can infinitely recast it. And if we have the fire shielding that we need, it's safe. But it will need more than just the spell in order to do the job.
Yeah. Well, so based on your survival skills, you do know that smoky fires typically come from wetter wood. And the nice thing about creating bonfire is that there's really no wood. The fire just happens. So if you were to want to at some point like use it to create a smoke signal, you could get some relatively green wood to throw in there and make a smoke signal out of the bonfire that you create. But as far as the camp goes, it's gonna be pretty standard, like dry wood, normal amount of smoke kind of thing. And with the fire shielding from the road, it should be fine, because it's not like you guys are like on the trail, and it's really only going to be an issue if a wagon happens to be going from what you believe is Volta
Alright.
Totus Lager to Winter's Haven that night. So, who's taking what watch, or are they all Xanalor again?
I'm up for however many I need to.
I'll take one of them.
Yeah, I'll wake up early in the morning and I'll take last watch.
I'll take first, and we'll stick Xanalor with the middles.
All right, sounds good. Stock, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Also, so before I get that from you,
I got a
you guys
17.
didn't really. Okay, perfect. Thank you. So you didn't really pack for an extended camping trip thing.
Right.
So it's not, you don't have like a boatload of rations on you. Any rations that you kind of had that were extra anyway were they were in the crates that you got taken out of.
Yep.
So
I will share. I don't need any rations. They can all have whatever was created for me.
I imagine, Vendi, you if we rolled, you would not have a hard time foraging. However, if someone wanted anything that was not likely vegetarian, you could make a survival check to see if you were able to catch anything throughout the day.
I would like
or
to
as
do
you were
that.
coming. Sure.
That would be a 3.
Okay. So out of like leeks and morals and things like that, Vendi, what do you make for dinner? It's mostly vegetables. You could make make a stew. It would be rather light with like sort of a vegetable stock.
You know what? Here's what I'm gonna do. Does anybody go fishing or find any sort of proteins?
I have a
Nope.
fishing pole.
Stock had a really bad survival check, so
Okay.
no proteins outside of.
Then it's
like,
a nice garden
kind of like-
salad.
Yeah, like sort of like pea pod kind of protein, like pea protein basically is what you're able to get because you're able to like scrummage some like edamame essentially off the side of the trail and stuff.
Here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be a nice garden salad because Vendi never really learned how to cook because he was off on the lam.
Mhm.
So it's raw ingredients in a bowl all next to each other.
Perfect. So you stock because you wanted meat but didn't find any today. You take some of the jerky from your from rations that Xanalor is giving out. Take some of the jerky and you like crumble it on top. So it's kind of like bacon bits in a salad. Okay. So with that being fed in some capacity, unless you're Xanalor, who's some sort of freak, I'm not even sure at this point if Xanalor is alive because he's no longer meeting any of Maslow's hierarchy.
It's true.
Nor the rules for things that are in fact living. So I'm
Speak for
starting to
Xanalor.
question it myself. But that's really neither here nor there, nor am I trying to incept you guys. Just an observation as the narrator of this this particular venture. But
Sleep, food, water, breathing.
none of it. Yeah, you are dead. You're like a virus, basically. You fall into the category of a virus at this point. You are not actually alive, nor are you truly dead.
But you are moving around.
Yeah, you do
Was
something.
he just a
no
part
one
of our
knows why.
imaginations the entire time?
I'm gonna try. Xanalor may actually be an alien at this point because I am starting to wonder if viruses are not of this planet because they don't match anything. Anyway, you guys have your meal. Everyone kind of beds down for the evening except for Xanalor. He kind of wanders off and does skulky emo kid stuff while Stock is taking his watch. You rolled a 17 perception check. You notice that there are in fact sounds of the wilderness tonight. It appears as though Xanalor's casting of whatever that green hell that you got stuck in was may have driven some things away the night before. You hear the sounds of your typical mountainous kind of wildlife, so a lot of bugs. You hear some owls and stuff like that. You think for a moment that maybe you heard like a mountain lion, but either it caught scent of you guys or saw the fire from whatever angle and decided to skedoodle. But yeah, nothing happens during your watch. Xanalor, go ahead and make a pair of perception checks for me.
A 16 and a 14.
Okay. You're actually fairly attentive tonight. Maybe the sound of flies buzzing around horses and getting you all excited about, necrosis is helping keep you focused.
Not into dying horses.
You're getting a little necromancery on me. But no, so you're able to focus on like what's around you tonight. Obviously, you're usually one who is deep in thought experiments and things like that. Did you journal last night or tonight?
Yeah, always.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to send you a whisper on something that happens in your journal. But again, relatively quiet evening outside of the wildlife and things like that. Nothing dangerous at least makes its way towards your camp or anything like that. And you see that the dawn hours are starting to begin, and you know that is your time to rouse Vendi. Vendi, go ahead and make a perception check for me. Are you there, Vendi?
I am. It went averagely 10 plus 5 for a 15.
15. Okay. Yeah. So you are. I'm going to apologize for any typos on this guy. I can't see that part of this. I'm typing on my TV from over here at the futon.
Okay. I'm sure I'll get the gist of it.
Your watch goes by your watch goes by uneventfully, Vendi. You notice that the sounds of nature, give way from the late night sort of relative quiet of mostly the bugs. The animals themselves have, sort of ceased hunting for the night and have returned to their various habitats. And then the sounds of daylight, morning doves and the like begin to fill the air as your watch comes to an end and Stock wakes up.
All right. Shall we away?
Away we shall.
And I repeat the plan as yesterday. So that I don't have to hit long rest because it's gonna uncheck those boxes for me to check them again.
Okay, so you're doing essentially another 4 hours of spell slots.
Yep.
Okay. Same expedited rate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Alrighty. So, can I have you guys make a perception check with disadvantage for me? And this is occurring during the 3rd hour of travel.
I got an 11.
I am not going to roll again because I can't get lower.
Said perception?
Mm-hmm.
Perception, yeah.
17.
17, okay.
6. So you said this is a 3rd hour, so I get my 4th spell slot back based off of the narrative?
Yep.
Okay.
So, Xanalor, you notice some movement in the forest. You're not because of the quick nature that you guys are traveling at. You don't really notice until the horses start to notice, as you guys are all kind of your attention is suddenly brought sharply into focus as all three of your Fey horses rear up and stop very suddenly, and they like refuse to go forward. Xanalor, you hear it first. You hear some sounds that are very familiar that you haven't heard in several months. As coming from out of the woods, you spot a few familiar objects and disgusting noises as three of the kidney beans with mouths, two of the cujos, I think you guys called them, and one of the large bug creatures come out of the forest at you guys. And give me a moment while I set up this map. Can I get a marching order for you guys?
Benji would probably be first in this case.
I'd be in the middle because then I can cover both of the idiots.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Since I have 15 feet in any direction.
Yes. That's not what I wanted to click. Need to find some icons or some tokens I haven't used in a while. Did I get rid of those?
I thought we ended this.
Can I get a perception? So now that all of you guys have seen them, can I get a perception check from all of you?
Straight perception check?
Yes.
19.
13.
That is a 23.
Okay. You guys notice that despite their normal disgusting appearance, these also appear to be... It's not that they're not eating, because you can see that the little kidney bean mouth things are leaking, some relatively fresh blood. But they appear to be like very just kind of sickly looking, like their colors are off, like they're like sloughing off skin and stuff. As best you can assume, they appear to be suffering for having not been in whatever fucking hell they come from for an extended period of time. So they've been stuck here from what you can gather.
Yeah.
And it looks like I might have gotten all those tokens out of my collection to make room for things for whatever reason. So let me snag those again really quick.
No hurry.
All right, I need... Wow, that was big. I want to double check, make sure the size on those things. Yeah, okay. When I dragged it in, I got a rather large version of the creature. Okay, they're all basically all medium. Okay. All right, just a couple more tokens. Sorry, guys.
Take your time.
I don't understand why it always drops them in as like massive, but all right, let's bring you guys over and let's get some initiative rolls.
Luna, shut up.
Oh boy.
These dogs are bad luck.
Oh, and I forgot again.
I got a 7.
17.
6.
Alrighty. Let me get these put in. That is that. All right. So up first, we've got the dogs.
Dogs.
This one's going to continue forward and make an attack at Vendi. This one is going to do the same at Stock. Alrighty. So Vendi, does a 14 hit you?
It does not.
How about a 21?
Hold on. I have something I needed to check out here. I'm going to force that to be at disadvantage.
Which one? The one that would have been the
The
21?
21.
Okay. Okay, that's a 16.
That misses.
Okay.
Thanks,
How do
Tebow
you...
studded leather.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool. That brings us to you, Vendi.
All right. Well, since that's there, no, I don't want to do that. Actually,
Oh, wait.
I do kind of.
Sorry. Vendi, hang on. While you're thinking about that, I forgot to do the attacks on Stock. Okay, Stock, does a 17 hit you?
Meets it, beats it.
All right. So then both attacks are going to land. All right. So that's going to be 13 points of piercing damage. And then I also need you to make a pair of Constitution saving throws for me.
All right. The first one is a 16. The second one is a 22.
Okay.
Also, since dog entered my area of effect, can I make my opportunity attack against him?
Sure.
A 9 plus 10 for a 19.
That will hit.
All right. And that will be 16 slashing damage.
Okie dokie. All right. Now it is your turn, Vendi. Sorry.
Vendi is going to remember how awesome G-Boat was at mitigating Xenolur's aggression, and is going to cast G-Boat right there,
All right. Let me...
giving everyone, including our horses, 15 temporary hit points, advantage on strength checks and saves. Which means, thanks to my summoner's ability as well, all my horses went from 17 hit points to 32 effective hit points.
So there's a 30-foot radius, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was right there, actually.
I'm giving you control of it, so you can do it.
Cool. And then that's my bonus action. Then as my main action, I'm going to cast Create Bonfire right underneath this wolfy boy.
Okay.
And let me make sure I read when the damage happens. So they need to make a DC 17 Dexterity saving throw now.
Okay.
And we'll need to make it again. The first, like as it starts its turn, because it started its turn in the bonfire's effective space.
Okay. That is a failure.
Okay, so it's 2d8 damage. So 13 bonfire damage.
Okie dokie.
Okay, and then finally, I think Vendi is going to use the horse to go 5, 10, 15, and hang out right there.
Okay.
And I imagine because I did not make a martial attack, I still take the attack of opportunity.
That is a good point and something I had not thought of.
I mean, I didn't
I'm
do
gonna-
anything for it to dodge, so I assume that I would.
No, but it is also on fire. So I'm gonna not do the opportunity attack this time, and I will contemplate how I want to handle that in the future.
Okay.
All right. So then that brings us to the ugly clicking insect monster.
Yeah.
It is going to go underground.
Ah,
Got scared of G-Boat.
don't like that.
I don't remember what happened when it comes out of the ground.
Nothing good.
And then it is going to be Stock's turn.
All right. Well, seeing as there is an enemy immediately in front of me, but what I would like to do is take a step that way for raisins, and I will attack Doggy Boy in front of me.
Okay.
And that is 16 to hit for the first one.
That will hit.
So that is, if I grab the right dice, 7 plus 6 for, what's that, a 12? 13.
Okay.
And second attack against him is going to be a 22
That will hit.
for 12 slashing damage. And
All right.
as a bonus action, I want to backhand him.
You don't need to if you will just slow the fuck down for a second.
Well, then I won't use a bonus action. Now that's all I'll do for now.
All right. Xanilor.
Okay, I'm gonna step one more closer to Stock, and then I'm going to double Eldritch Blast, one at this guy and one at this guy. So the two,
Okay.
those two.
Okay.
Same rolls. That is 23.
That will hit.
Yeah, 23 to hit. For 6 to the first one and 7 to the second one.
Okay. Dang it. Keep clicking the wrong things. My hands are getting all spazzy. All right. Anything else, Xanilor?
That's it.
Got it. All right. Kidney beans are up. I forgot what you guys called these things.
I don't remember.
Me neither.
I found out their real names through my other campaign.
Yes.
Were those the rock things?
Those were the dark mantles, I think. The
Mhm.
squid things.
Yeah, never mind.
Because I remember their actual names. I don't remember what we call them.
Yeah, I already cleaned that. Right. Yeah.
Hey, if you listen to our old episodes, remembered what we said they were, add us in the comments.
Langoliers.
Yeah.
Still at Scott in the comments. Let him know how good he was at remembering things.
I had a note.
All right. This one is going to run up to you, Vendi, and it's actually going to it's going to leap up and try to latch on to your horse.
Oh no.
Is that a strength check?
No, it's a melee attack that it's making. Does a 7 hit a horse? I don't know what a horse's armor
It
class
does not. A horse's armor class is 10.
Alrighty, so that is that one. This one is going to
Ooh, my horse has an attack?
run there.
Are you making like kick or bite?
It's hooves. +5 to hit. Does 8 bludgeoning damage.
Hey, since that kidney bean entered my range.
Uh-huh.
I want to smack it.
Okay. I was wondering if you were going to finish that sentence. I see you fiddling with something in your hands, and it doesn't seem like you're rolling a dice.
Well, I was going to wait for you to finish your shit.
No, your reaction happens when your reaction happens.
Oh.
It's not like unless you're choosing to use your reaction until after it has attacked your friend Xanalor.
No,
That's
16.
also your choice.
I might want to do that. I rolled a 16.
A 16 does hit.
7.
Yeah, Mike, when are you going to realize that you are the instant of Dungeons and Dragons,
Probably never.
and you can be played at any time.
How much damage?
7.
7. Okay. So this thing comes running in at you like a rabid Langolier, Xanalor. And you see as it like lunges at you, Stock's glaive comes in, just shoot, like cuts its like toothy head off.
You're welcome.
This is why I moved here.
This one is going to. Okay. It's gonna go 5. It's gonna go there, and it's gonna make an attack at Stock. Does a 9 hit you?
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Okie dokie. These guys were much scarier when you guys weren't super strong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're dinner.
It's kind of funny, right? All right. That brings us back to the top, and Fire Doggo is going to have to make his Dex saving throw. I don't think a 9 is going to do it.
It was a 17.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll your fire damage, Vendi.
All right. Let's get me to the right page. Not so much. 8 fire damage.
8 damage. Okay. It's gonna go 10. It also gets this guy on it. Okay. It's going to. It's gonna make its bite attacks at your horse. Let's see. The first one is a 17 to hit.
That would hit the horse.
Okay. And that's going to be for 4 piercing damage.
All right, that's horse number 1, and with its new HP.
And then does a 10 hit?
A 10 just barely hits.
Okay. And that's another 5 piercing damage.
Okay. Thank God I G-boated.
Brings us to you, Vendi.
All right. At this point here, Had enough of these guys. I don't really know what I can do that's not like wildly overkill.
Give me just a sec.
You had to pee again.
I'm not wasting a wall of fire on this.
I mean, if you're worried about having another encounter today.
No, it just a 5th level spell is not enough to deal with 2 half damaged creatures.
Well, there's still the underground
Especially,
guy.
yeah. Mm, yeah, I think the cantrip's the best call on this one.
All right, sorry about that.
All right. So I'm breaking concentration on my original bonfire.
Okay.
And I'm going to do it again. This time on Peanut over here.
Okay.
So I'm just going to move my bonfire. And that's a DC 17 saving throw.
I don't think he's gonna make it, but we'll see. Oh yeah, he made it.
All right, then he saves. And I will assume the attacks of opportunity as I have to go respecting the elements of the bush. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. How far can riding horses go? I think it's 40.
40.
Yeah. So 10 more squares. 35, 40. And we'll just hope that burrowy things can't get through solid rock. They totally can, but we'll hope.
Alrighty. So there will be 2 attacks of opportunity. We're gonna let Kidney Bean try first. He's gonna miss. And then the. All right, that's gonna be another bite at your horse for 6 piercing damage.
All right, so that puts me down there. So its temporary hit points are gone.
Okay. End of your turn.
End of my turn.
All right. Alrighty.
Oh shit. Okay. I royally fucked up.
What's up?
So I need to redo my turn. When I cast Create Bonfire, that removed the concentration that had the horses exist. So we're all currently horseless right now.
Oh, okay.
So I need to redo my movement speed. So instead it would be 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I can still get there. Everything's still the same.
Yeah. What's your armor class?
18.
18. Okay.
So I'm
Um,
sorry. I
y-
wasted a whole lot of time.
You would have taken those 6 piercing damage then.
hmm So
And
I'm
then you
just
can
going to
make
take.
a Constitution
I'm
save
just
throw.
going to take the full 17 points of damage that they would, or 15 points of damage they would have taken.
Okay.
Because you attacked a horse when you meant to attack me, so I'm taking the penalty for fucking up.
Okay.
And-
Make a con saving throw for me.
Okay, Constitution saving throw. 14.
Okay. And then make one for your concentration check for me.
That's the wrong button. 22.
Okay. Alrighty.
Concentration spells. Damn it. I'll learn that eventually by 6th edition.
All right. So, coming out from the ground, Xanalor does a does a 10 hit you? I don't
No.
think so, right? No.
No.
Okay. But does a 16?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So one of the basically a spike comes up like from under the ground between both of your legs, Xanalor and Stock. Xanalor, one of them does hit you. It like kind of catches you like across like the calf and like kind of stabs you in the hamstring a little bit. And it's gonna be 6 piercing damage.
Okay.
And then that is it. Stock, you're up.
All right. So the underground thing hasn't turned up yet.
You reckon that it's pretty close to you since it tried to stab you, but it missed. And then you also got a kidney bean that is still harrowing you.
Then kidney bean it is.
Okay.
So the first one is only a 13 to hit.
That will miss as the kidney bean kind of like just is like moving around trying to get into a position to attack you, and it like leaps to the right, getting ready to lunge, and you stab where it was.
Quit moving! That's a 26 to hit.
That will hit.
And that will be 12 slashing damage.
All right. You got it in 1.
All right. And we shall go 5, 10, 15 to put other kidney bean in range, and I want to back end it.
Okay.
That is a 28 to hit.
That will hit. And I imagine that you will kill it as well.
Well, hopefully 9 bludgeoning damage does.
Yeah. Whoops. I meant to get rid of the bonfire, but I accidentally deleted it. It died, though.
Took the fire with it, I hit it so hard.
There we go.
That's okay. The bonfire is going to be completely irrelevant now that the creature encased in it is also gone. So
Yes.
I think the Wolfie boy is going to be too smart to run headlong into a fire.
All right. Is that it for you, Stock?
Yep.
All right. Xanalor, you're up.
Okay. And the spikes are not protruding anymore. Like
No, it's like it.
down.
Based on like what you saw, it was like its leg came up and like stabbed through the ground.
Okay. And I'm gonna try to move 10, 15, 20, 25 to there. And then I'm gonna double Eldritch Blast this thing, whatever that is left. That was like where Bendy was.
Okay. Yeah.
Cujo.
11 to hit and 12 to hit.
The last one hits.
Nice. Okay, so that one was 11 force damage.
Okay. Alrighty. Anything else?
Just try to keep an eye out for the ground monster.
Okay.
So no.
All right. This dog is going to. It like started to turn around and look after you, Vendi, after it bit you while you were running off. And you see it like kind of get like knocked to the side by an Eldritch Blast, but then it's going to go 5, 10, 15 to get right in front of you again and try to bite you a pair of times.
Here's my reaction to say, "Oh no!"
So the first one is a 16,
Misses.
and the second one is a 23.
Ah, his other face.
And that's going to be for 5 piercing damage. And then I need you to make another dex, or not, sorry, not dex. I need you to make Constitution saving throw for the bite, and then another one for your.
Another 14 for the bite.
Okay. And then do you have a concentration spell still up?
The bonfire, and that's
Okay.
a 13.
Okay. So you save on both of those. Cool. All right. So that brings us to Uvendi.
All right. Bonfire is not as awesome as I thought it would be, so I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Shillelagh on Log. I'm going to hit him with it, and that's a 24 to hit.
That definitely hits.
For 7 log damage.
Alrighty, that is enough logs to put this disgusting creature out of its misery.
Guys,
You're
did you
assuming it's misery.
recognize how many faces this thing has?
Too many.
More than necessary. What if they get into an argument with themselves?
That'd be
They'll
interesting.
fully play out. And that's my turn.
Alrighty. So with that brings us to Underground Monster, who is going to actually pop up because it tasted the blood of Xanalor. And it's going to then go, what's its speed? Okay. It's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Stock, I'm assuming you're to use your reaction to make an opportunity attack on it.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
All right, go ahead and roll.
25 to hit.
That will hit.
That will only be 7.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. It's going to make a pair of attacks with its front pincer-like legs at you, Xanalor, as it has tasted your blood.
Yep.
Does a 15 hit you?
It does right now.
Okay. That's going to be 8 piercing damage.
Okay.
And that is it for that. Stock, you are up.
Alrighty, then it's gonna be smacky smack time.
Smackety smack.
First one, 12.
Miss.
Second one, 22.
Hit.
Damage is going to be 10. And
Done.
back end, 22.
Hits.
And a damage of 10 again.
All right. So your first blow kind of glances off of the hard carapace of the creature, and then you make the adjustment of, oh, I have to hit this thing pretty straight on, or I will glance off. So you're able to make the adjustment and hit it with the blade of your glaive, and then kind of spin around and crack it with the back end.
And for shits and giggles, I'm gonna burn an action surge.
All right.
To make 2 more attacks at it.
Okie dokie.
First one, a natural 20 for a total of 30.
Yes, you don't have to give me the total when it's a nat 20, by the way.
A total of 30. So that's 10, 16 slashing damage.
Alrighty, that is dead.
Aw, I still had another attack.
Jeez.
This is my element, what can I say?
Just smashing bugs.
Yeah. Just bring him to me, they'll all die eventually.
All right, so with that, we are out of combat. You probably only lost about, at your best guess, Bendy, 30 to 15 minutes of travel on, not 30, sorry, like 10 or 15 minutes of time off of that spell. But go ahead and guys make a perception check for me.
14.
23.
14.
All right, you guys note no further sounds of Langoliering or Cujoing or whatever Stephen King monster you want to name the Kruthic. Yeah. So nice job, boys. So that was after the third, right? The third casting,
Mhm.
Bendy? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you guys have traveled 3 hours. You reckon it's just shy of 6 hours worth of travel at the speed you're traveling at?
Well, do we want to have more horses and move at a regular stroll, or do we just want to walk till the end of the day?
I'd say walk till the end of the day, since there is obviously some remnants of the past out here.
Okay.
What
Also, I thought
does
we took care of these.
what is
Sanilar,
new?
did you do this? Is this one of your Zamp pranks?
Did I do what?
I'm just gonna assume everything unfortunate happens because of you.
I don't like that.
Well, I don't like you doing unfortunate things.
I'm just as invested in the success of this as you are.
Oh yeah, he does own a city now. We're tied 1-1.
All right. With that, you guys arrive at the end of your adventuring day. You set up camp. I'm assuming similar circumstances the night before, kind of off the road, hidden bonfire. You guys set up your watches, and for this night, we're going to go ahead and forego the perception checks, as it will be an uneventful and clear evening. Let's go ahead and let's take a 10-minute break. I've got to run to the bathroom and make sure that everything's squared away. Alexis just left.
Okay.
Okie dokie.
It was a nice little low stakes battle to bring back a remnant from prior in the history.
I'm back.
Sweet.
Ah,
And Corey runs away again.
perfect.
You had to go to the bathroom.
A likely story.
Mm-hmm.
Dan Schlitter is playing at Ledgestone.
That makes sense. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm back.
I was going to the bathroom twice.
I only went once, but I forgot something that I needed to do while I was up, so got back up.
Could have fooled me.
Alrighty, so the night has come and gone. The morning has replaced the dark, and you guys are probably about a day's, like, if you could do 4 hours of hard riding, you could probably make it to Tribor by midday or just after.
We just finished the long rest.
Sprint out for a lunch that's civilized.
Well, I'm cool with sprinting out for a lunch.
I suppose it's not really a metropolis.
Spell.
All right. So you're doing the 3 first level spells first?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
The 3 third level spells first.
Third level spells. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you get 3 hours down the road. You're starting to be able to see like this. You've gone down through the foothills, and you're starting to see like things flattening out into like rolling hills, and you're seeing signs of agriculture in the distance at the end of that third hour of travel.
Well, do we want to walk or do we want to keep on moving fast with the horses?
Keep on keeping on.
Okay. I'm going to do something different. And I'm gonna cast a 5th level spell instead. And here's the fun part about this. Twice as many horses appear. So normally it's been 8 horses. Now it's 16 horses.
Okay, so you guys have a cadre of horses with 3 people riding them.
I feel like Aladdin.
And so yeah, at the you guys arrive at like the outskirts of Tribor with 16 horses, and just as the crowd starts to notice you and start pointing at these 16 horses coming in, do those 16 horses disappear? So you guys have arrived at Tribor.
Well, Xanilor, you're the one that wanted a civilized meal. Go find us one.
Does this place have any food?
No.
Yeah, you've been to Tribor before.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think one of you almost got into a bar fight here.
Yeah.
I think that was you because you were cheating at Three Dragon Annie.
Yep. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Or no, it's not Three Dragon Annie. They play a game specific to Tribor. I don't remember what it's called though.
Yep.
Tried board games.
But yeah, so you guys know of a couple. There's like 2 taverns. There's like one on either end of town, basically.
Yeah, just pop into one.
Okay. So what are you looking to get? Meal and drinks.
Yeah, like we've been in the woods and we were caged. I want to be like meal and drinks situation.
Okay. So it would be a silver piece each.
I drop 3 coins.
Okay. The barkeep informs you that this comes with free refills. And so he instructs
That
you to
means
find
there's
a
no
table.
alcohol.
Instructs you to find a table, and a barmaid comes by with a couple flagons of ale. As you take a sip, you notice that it's a little weak, but it's still ale.
Hey, quick question. Do you happen to have any Flame Beard's Fire Brandy?
Oh my. Whew. Flamebeard's Firebrand. You'd be hard pressed to find even a bottle of that stuff anymore. It's been a while since that guy was around. I know I know he's kind of like a classical artist, right? Where like in his time he was unappreciated, but after his death there were many pretenders to the crown, but none could really hold a flame to Flamebeard's Fire Brandy, because most of them exploded while trying to make it. There was something very special about that brandy.
No! What happened to Flamebeard?
Old age happens.
Cruel march of time.
Yeah, that was quite a while ago. I mean, honestly, the only reason I know about it is because of sort of just the kind of legend of the fire brandy. But yeah, he's been dead for a minute.
I've been looking to taste a sample of wonderful Flamebeard's Fire Brandy.
I keep a bottle on me.
Probably would have had better luck up in Winter's Haven. They're closer to the north.
Yeah, well, you know what? I was hoping that Tribor had somebody who drank and know things, and I guess we don't drink a lot. We don't know a lot here about Flamebeard's Fire Brandy.
Begging your pardon, sir, but it sounds like you're the one who drinks and know things.
Well, I desire to drink, and I do pursue knowledge. There's no second part to that statement. I just had a weird inflection. I'm sorry, my social skills aren't on point.
Yeah, you guys look like you've been in the woods about a week.
Yes, do you have accommodations where one might bathe themselves?
Yeah. You're just looking to bathe, or you want a room for the night?
I don't need a room.
Okay.
He really wants some Flamebeard's Fire Brandy.
We don't have any, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's why we need to leave as quickly as possible so we can get him some.
Okay.
Also, while we're asking you for things, is there a stable that sells horses?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be 5 copper for the bath.
Toss the coins and head off.
Okay. So you go into the sort of the bathhouse portion of the inn and tavern. You can tell the water has been heated, and there's also notes of like lavender and spearmint in the air. You can see like some sprigs kind of floating in the bath itself. It appears to be a medicinal bath of sorts.
Nice.
Were you someone who actually slept, I would say that you gained the well-rested benefits for the day as a Skyrim callback. But yeah, so you take a bath, you smell nice. Smell nicer than usual.
I was really tempted to tell the innkeep I'll give him 5 gold if he adds ink to that bath.
He the barkeep he laughs. I don't think I could get enough ink even with the 5 gold in time and get it back here to actually make a difference in dying your friend. But I appreciate the practical joke. And can you tell your other friend to stop asking about the fire brandy? We don't have it. I give him regular brandy if he wants it.
Just write Flamebeard Fire Brandy on the bottle and pour some from it. He won't know the difference.
It's true, I won't.
Because, you know what? Hang on. Vendi, as you're eating, because the food has come out, it's breads. There's some meats, cheeses, vegetables, fruits. It's a pretty good spread. I mean, Xanalor did pay for like the bells and whistles. That's why you got the free refills of the 75% strength ale. But he brings over to you. It's a wooden tankard. And you see in it is a liquor. There is also a stick of cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
And what smells like something spicy. This might be fire brandy. They may have caved.
Well, boys, I'm glad to know if we're stubborn enough, we'll always get the good stuff.
Make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Oh, it's so good, guys. It's amazing. It's the best I've ever had. 13.
Okay. You are just barely able to avoid like coughing and spraying this fire brandy all over the place because the spiciness that you were noting, that's black pepper.
Oh, guys, it's so good. Oh, I can't wait to drink the rest of it. Please
Stock,
don't make me.
You know that the barkeep, he kind of gives a little chuckle and a wink at you.
I just nod back.
Despite the strange combination of flavors, though, Vendi, it is actually kind of good. Like the sort of the.
You tell me that after I do the bit.
The
sounds like.
So if I understand correctly, brandy is kind of on the sweeter end of liquors.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So the spice combination of the cinnamon and the black pepper give it like a really kind of deep flavor sphere.
It's festive.
You get the sense that it would probably be really good if it was served not warm like it is, but hot. Yeah, if this found its way across your table again at some point in your life, you wouldn't really be upset about it.
I consider casting Create Bonfire. I remember we've already done enough arson for a lifetime, unless you're Xanalor.
The
There's
wood
never
here
enough arson
is
to
so
satiate Xanalor.
saturated with alcohol. The place will go up like a frickin'.
I think about it. I look at Xanalor, and I'm worried that he might be thinking about it too. And then I'm worried that I've gone a bridge too far.
I don't know what to do with that look. What are you looking at me for?
You know.
Is it because he smells real nice?
Yeah, I was gonna start a fire to warm up the fire brandy because I think it'll taste better, and I felt bad because my first solution was set everything on fire, and I felt like you.
What does that have to do with me? You're the one who lit that wagon on fire. Wait, I mean,
Dumbass.
Yeah, now it's becoming a trend for me, and I feel bad about it. But why'd
I
you guys
mean,
get all quiet? Were we not supposed to talk about that?
realistically
I don't
speaking,
know.
this was your first exposure to Xanalor and Arson. He just seems particularly gifted at it.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I
He
did
was
help burn
kind
down
of really good at that.
I helped burn down the house where we staged the whole kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's just burning down a house.
Okay. All right.
Still arson.
Okay. Anything you guys want to do at the inn? Given the how hard you rode to get to Tribor and then stopping for lunch and stuff like that, you're probably going to wind up spending the rest of the day here. Don't really have like the energy to travel much.
So is there anything in Tribor that we could benefit from?
In what way?
Gambling.
Trying to think if there's any items of interest.
Well, Xanalor was interested in purchasing horses, if I remember correctly.
You own a horse.
I think we all are interested in horses.
Yep. I'd like to try and peruse for any potions.
Ah, that's a good. I have not been looking for those. I really should.
No, none of us have.
Give me a sec.
Very
All right.
little healing ability in the squad.
So, there are several riding horses for sale. You find like a livestock trader essentially. Like I said, Tribor is a very heavy like agricultural trade kind of town. So you find someone who's specifically selling riding horses. Like, there's people selling draft horses or, donkeys and things like that. But I'm assuming you're looking for riding horses.
Yeah.
Okay. So you find someone selling riding horses, and they're willing to sell you. How many riding horses do you need?
For myself, just the one. Then I have two friends who will each need one as well.
Okay. Well, they're going to be about 75 gold each.
I will hand him my 75 gold.
Okay. He hands you a bridle.
And it's fully equipped.
Yeah, I'll have the stable hand throw a saddle up on there for you. It's nothing too fancy, just plain brown leather with a hide kind of covering, a couple saddlebags,
Perfect.
and then the bridle, which you still haven't taken.
I have other shopping to do. Can I come back and
Yeah, I'll just have the saddle boy do that too. What's your name?
Xanalo?
Just want to make sure he knows that when Xanalor shows up, give him his fucking horse.
Very well.
Kid's like 14, he doesn't know anything. So you were looking for potions.
Yes.
Interessant. Let's see if there's anything. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Alrighty. I get a +0 to these. I rolled a 2.
Okay. That's not great.
No.
Okay. So you are not able to find anybody selling potions with that roll. If anyone wants to help you, you can.
Doesn't seem like it.
No, yeah, I want to do some potion shopping.
Okay.
said I needed to roll for something.
Yeah. Can you roll an investigation check for me to like find a shopkeep selling potions?
This place is Trixie. 8.
Okay. I mean, it takes you a while with your combined bumbling efforts. You do eventually find somebody who has a couple of potions for sale. They don't have a lot. What kind of potions are you looking for? This is the shopkeeper talking. Sorry.
Healing.
Healing.
Tend to get injured a lot.
Sure. Potion of healing, huh? Okay. You know what? Give me a minute. I actually know a guy a couple of stalls down. I think he has some kind of squirreled away in case of farming accidents. Let me see what he's got. Can you give me like 15, 20 minutes?
I suppose.
Okay. Cool. I'll be right back then. And they put up a little sign that says, be back soon. And they wander off kind of down the street. You don't see exactly where they go. I'm just trying to pull something up really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, they do come back. There is a dusty wooden box that has like a latch on it. And they open it up, and inside are like basically like a small, medium, and a large sized vial, right? Like one is like basically like a test tube. I think you guys have seen potions of healing before, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's roughly the shape they are. They're pretty small. And then there's like a medium and a large one.
Okay.
How much?
How much?
Yeah, so I asked what he was looking for. So he's willing to move the little one, he said, for 50 gold. The middle one here, that's going to be 150, and then the big one is 450, but he said that that's like some A1 shit.
What if I bought all 3?
I mean, he's got to try to find some more for just in case he's again. So I don't imagine he'd be willing to move too much on the price or happy with me if I bartered too much. But what were you thinking of offering?
I have this very special hammer.
Okay.
I reach into my backpack and I pull out a hammer.
Just like a regular hammer.
In reality, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What's so special about this hammer?
Handcrafted by elves centuries ago. It was passed down through my family. I hesitate to part with it, but this is an important purchase.
Make a deception check.
17.
Okay. I could maybe knock 50 gold off the price for the hammer.
Well, I suppose I've already been exiled by my family. They won't care if I part with it. So yeah, I'll buy all 3.
Okay. So I believe if my math checks out, I think it's 600 gold.
Yep.
Yep.
And a useless hammer that you
Regular
have
hammer.
you've bullocked up to a 50 gold piece hammer.
Mhm.
Okay, so you have 1 potion of healing, 1 potion of greater healing, and 1 potion of superior healing.
I'm gonna give Xanilor 200 gold to help cover the cost.
Okay.
Oh well, thank you. Which kinds of healing levels you said?
Healing. So standard, greater, and superior. I don't think you're going to find a superior or a supreme healing one in most places.
Right. Why is the regular one not coming up?
So actually, too, this is the first time you've seen a potion of healing that's like this big, essentially. Like it's not big, right? Like it's smaller than like, you know, like a pint, but it's like pretty hefty. So there's a lot of liquid in there, essentially, is what I'm saying. You've not seen that much in a space before, so it's quite a good find.
Nice.
Okay, apparently we have thunderstorms rolling in. Let me move my plants really quick so they don't get dropped 30 feet. Anything else while you guys are in Tribor?
I'm satisfied.
Stock and Vendi, are you guys planning on acquiring transportation?
Yes.
I am actually gonna have Vendi just chill out because he's probably had to exert himself and maintain his concentration a lot. So I think he'll enjoy just a little bit of space out time.
Okay, come on back. Stock, you're acquiring a horse as well?
Yep.
Yeah. Are you doing that today or like in the morning before you guys hit the road?
I'd do it in the morning before we hit the road.
Okay.
There is something I want to find at some point, but I don't think Tribor would have it.
What are you looking for?
Bracers of defense.
Bracers of defense.
I have nothing that requires attunement at the moment.
Sure, yeah. Yeah. You may go ahead and make an intelligence check for me.
That should be a straight 12. Yep.
Okay. You're not 100% sure where you would find something like that or if that kind of thing even exists. But you do know that Timo, he might be able to whip something up for you next time you're back in Winter's Haven, or if you go all the way to not Timo, Sibo, sorry, Sibo Reese. If you go all the way back to where was that again?
Silvery Moon, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just outside of Silvery Moon. I was looking at the map. I was like, oh my god, did I destroy Silvery Moon?
Well, Sibo accidentally.
In my like wandering around shops, I assume this isn't really a place you can find magic items, like unless you're super lucky.
So I will. So go ahead and make an intelligence check for me again.
It's not good. 6.
6. Okay. So in your travels, you've really not seen much ever in the way of magical items.
Right.
Also, I know I led off kind of like at the beginning of this campaign, which was a while ago.
Yeah.
In this world, magic items are quite hard to come by.
Right.
And that's part of why I did put Sibo in. It was a way for you guys to kind of try to get some stuff.
Yep.
Or at the very least, like also give you a way to like maybe invent some magic items or something, kind of like the gauntlet that you have.
Yes, for sure.
Which you don't have that's not like in your inventory, right? Like as an actual item. Yeah. Did I make that?
If you didn't, I just put an item that was.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even put the effects in there, and I have it. Well, I guess we don't know all the effects.
Right. You know. What do you know about that so far?
It sort of intensifies some things, maybe, but it doesn't work for everything. Holds up to 1 day, then releases automatically. But I could voluntarily spell it before that. Have to preload it. Spells hit harder. kind of the gist of what I got.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna copy that into the item.
Yeah, and then I think there's still something you have yet to discover about it, and once you do, then I'll like give you the homebrew item.
Cool.
Especially too, because it's very difficult to edit items like in people's inventories. I'd have to like remove it and put it back in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. Cool. Alrighty. So you're just kind of chilling. You said, Vendi.
Yep.
What do you do? Like you're in this agricultural village of Tribor. Like what does Vendi do to get some space and recharge his batteries a bit?
I think he'll just take like a 10-minute walk outside the city. Just try to find whatever is the nearest tree. Plop on down and journal for a bit.
Sure. So you actually, given that it's an agricultural hub, there are a lot of like open areas and stuff, but you actually spot as you're kind of going around the outside of town, you spot there's like it's gonna take you like a little bit, but like you're not really too worried. Probably like 45 minutes to an hour to walk like 2 fields over, essentially, where there looks to be like a massive old like oak or maple tree that is giving like a ton of shade, kind of like at the corner of one plot of land. It looks like the kind of just the perfect spot, picturesque, to just kind of like take in the the blowing grasses, the smells of the crops, and just kind of absorb a little bit of nature.
And then after 15 minutes of like just kind of doodling, I look back to the town to make sure that Xanalor didn't set it on fire.
There appears to be no plumes of black smoke.
Okay, so there is a line. And then the camera fades away.
Okay.
Did I ever do to you?
Or radiate me.
Now you think I just burned down cities?
Oh, okay.
I didn't think you'd hurt me, but when I found that was wrong, I question everything now.
I see. I found where I wrote down what the Gauntlet of spell blasting does.
Cool.
So we're good.
Cool.
Anything else you were looking for, Stock?
Not off the top of my head. Not anything
Okay.
that I could think of would be available in Tribor reasonably.
Okay. As you're kind of like walking through, you're like, walking along the street. I don't know why my voice won't stop cracking now. You're walking along the street, just kind of like taking in the shops, and eventually you like reach the end of the street, and you see that like at the end of the street there's like a small pond like with a dock, and a couple like trees and a little boat there. And you're like, they make a good fishing spot.
Fishing it is.
All right, so you're gonna pass a few hours by just fishing under the Triborian sun
With my beating stick.
with your stick that's got it's the wood. It has some red stain to it. You spend like the first 15 minutes putting all your lures and stuff back in the tackle box because you forgot that once you opened it, they all launched out like they were spring loaded. You did grab one though. You grabbed the one you wanted out of the air, but then the other one's like clattered to the ground, and so you like grabbed them.
Just cussing up a storm, occasionally shooting the shit with the old man who has nothing better to do but fish.
Yes. So you actually there's a guy who winds up like hanging out with you. Like he was at a different fishing spot, but he sees you there for a while, and he sees that you kind of know what you're doing, so he makes his way over a little bit to like kind of like loud talking range at least to start, and then he eventually makes his way closer to you as as you keep going, and the sun begins to set and stuff, and you come to find out that he goes by Good Luck Chuck, That's a nickname that he got from people. He supplies a lot of the fish in town that doesn't come from trade wagons and stuff, because he's quite the fisherman, and that's why they call him Good Luck Chuck, because he's lucky.
Okay then. Yep, just shooting the shit, talking about how the fishing's going, yada yada yada.
Cool. Alrighty. So with that, why don't you guys, can you each, anyone who's staying in a room in an inn, go ahead and subtract another 2 silver from your stash. I don't know why I was struggling with that word.
I did it.
And then yeah, so you get a pretty restful night. The inn is comfortable. It's not fancy, it's not like anything like too crazy, but they do have like essentially like mattresses that have been fashioned with like triboran sheared sheep wool, and like they're like placed into like burlap, and it's a pretty nice accommodation, especially given the cost and kind of where you are. But then again, being kind of a trading hub, you're also not surprised that it's at least somewhat nice. Yeah, so the day begins. Vendi and Stock. I know Stock, at least you're acquiring your horse this morn. Vendi, are you doing the same? Are you not looking to purchase the rights to use a horse, or?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Are you purchasing a horse?
I was under the impression that Xanalor bought the 3 already.
I bought one and told them 2 friends would come get the other 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Xanalor did a very Xanalor thing.
Riding horse, correct?
Yep, 75 gold. And you can actually add that to your extras tab so that you know that it's there on your sheet. It also gives you the stats and stuff like that.
Well, I'm going to tell Xanalor, I guess I can't do that.
You can't do that.
I don't have the gold to buy it.
I buy him a riding horse.
Oh,
Vendi often gives away or overspends his gold.
I'm just gonna buy him a riding horse. Make it easy.
Okay. Don't forget to name your horses, because that's more fun.
Oh yeah, because this is different character. I have a mule in my inventory.
I have a draft horse.
I've got. Yep.
Yeah, those are currently being housed in Winter's Haven, if I remember correctly.
Okay. What would I name a horse?
I know what I'm going to name it.
Well, congratulations.
Crinkles, how did
Xanalor gift.
Crinkles, get out of the couch. Damn cat. Just gonna get squished to death.
Horse name generator.
Xanalor's gift.
You're naming it Xanalor's gift, and I'm the one who bought it for you?
It's an ironic name. Because Xanalor put all this effort of like finding and reserving the horses. But just like the rest of his plans, it's one step too short to be successful.
This cat literally is afraid of nothing except for thunder. Yeah, like vacuum cleaner, doesn't care. But suddenly I felt something hitting my butt from underneath.
Okay. First off, you have no idea if Crinkles would be scared of Midsommar.
That's true, but who wouldn't be? Because that movie is creepy. All right. So you guys have your horses. You have your traveling day ahead of you. I guess which direction would you guys like to head? Because you're kind of willing to go through the Eldine Reaches, correct?
I am.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you guys kind of trying to do like kind of a straight line from Tribor to Filter Toteslogger? Like go through the gloaming?
That would be my impression of it.
Just want to make sure
I
that
was going to, because the Eldeen Reaches is relatively new,
Yes, very new.
so I don't know if I'd even know that Greenheart existed, but I would have imagined that I would have had straight east until we reach like the end of the Eldeen Reaches from like early maps, and then start heading south after that, and try to just use main directions.
Okay. I will say, so you don't know anything other than the fact that that stretch of woods is known as the Eldeen Reaches, and you guys had heard a rumor of a group of elves kind of like banding together and secluding themselves to the Eldeen Reaches with elves from Eberron, and creating like the I don't remember, what did I say that it was called? The something dynasty. It started with an R. But you had heard that as a rumor, so that was like kind of confirmed by the eraser that you guys captured.
Yeah.
I'd want to go meet the elven folk.
We got 2 elvish-ish people.
Let me see. There was something that I had made. It was literally just called like rumors. Where is that? Oh, here we go. I found the thing. All right. So what you guys know, at least. So you guys had heard of a bloody dwarven civil war in the Mrar Holds, which are
Southeast.
southeast of where you are. There were also reports of some large, clearly elven structures appearing in the former High Forest. This area that the Eldeen Reaches has replaced on the map, you can see some of the forest underneath it, was in the Sword Coast known as the High Forest. The region is now dominated by an Eberron region called the Eldeen Reaches. The elves there were rumored to have reached accords almost immediately and have begun rebuilding their once splendid kingdoms. This had at the time, at least of when you had heard about this several months ago, before the whole being marked and hunted thing happened, it caused some civil unrest as some races found themselves chafed at the idea of elves regaining some of the glory that they already, some of them carry unearnedly. Okay, so are you guys all in agreement then on which direction you're heading?
Well, since I don't know the knowledge of the Eldeen Reaches, because I assumed that there was some map that had been made that we have. Since we can't assume that, I'm just gonna go with Stock's plan.
Okay. Yeah, I would say so. Keeping in mind that the Arcanaclysm itself happened just a few short months ago, there have been expeditions, cartographic expeditions and things like that, but progress has been slow, especially as some regions are much more hostile than others. And so, yeah, there isn't much known yet outside of like, this is the Eldeen Reaches, this is the Shadow Marches, those are the Demon Wastes kind of thing.
Yeah.
Go meet the elven folk, because they were mentioned about how they didn't want to be dealt with by the catchy people, whatever their frickin' name is. I can't remember off the top of my head right now. So they may have some insight into their comings and goings and general makeup, is my thinking on it.
Okay. Xanilor?
Yeah, I'm down for that. I guess we're nowhere near the edge of those woods yet, right?
Not yet.
Well,
no.
here's the other question I have.
Before we go in, I'll have a plan.
What if we took the long road so that we get around, like, to the south of the mountains and then start heading east? Seems like we might just be able to shave like a day or two off our travels that way.
Well, we don't know what these individuals are doing with the mark they have taken, so a day or two may mean that our numbers diminish from hundreds to a handful.
No, I'm saying we can save a day or two off our travel by using a known road and then heading straight east to Falter.
So you were saying going like that way and then that way?
No, even farther. Where, hold on one second. I just need to get freehand. Is taking a path down through here and then coming across there.
Nobody can see what you're doing. Oh, wait, there it is.
It just showed up, yeah. Okay, I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would work. I'd be down for that.
Because I just imagine that if we went straight line, that's a lot of mountains we have to go through, and then our profile through the forests is going to be a little bit longer as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
taking the road would probably be the better option.
Fair enough.
Avoid some hills.
Because that would actually put my original idea as the slowest.
I'm down for it.
I see the logic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool. I just want to make sure I understand which way you guys are going. That way, when I start moving the "You Are Here" token, I'm heading in the right direction. Okay. So you guys are setting out. What is today's travel pace?
Fast.
Well, now that
Yeah.
Not real fast, just because we don't.
I would say it's a regular pace, considering we actually have to worry about the long-term well-being of these horses.
Yes.
Give us an hour, and then you can enjoy the rest of your day, please.
Also, as far as like supplies and stuff like that goes, I'm not asking you necessarily to like go in and like add a number of like rations for the number of days you think this is going to take or whatever, but is there anything that like your character would have wanted to purchase for eating for the road?
The meats.
Just no food for me, but enough food for the horse.
Okay, yeah.
Ice kit.
Meats and horse supplies.
How about Vendi? What is Vendi like, or does he prefer foraging?
Spice kit.
Okay, sure. Vendi, do you have any money?
63 gold.
63 gold. Okay.
4 silver, 8 copper.
Yeah. So let's say your spice kit, we'll call that 3 copper.
Okay.
Stock, you get a arrangement of mostly salted meats, so that they'll keep. But you do get a couple like fresher things. Let's have yours be. We'll go with 1 silver, and it's like it's quite a bit. Like it should last you for a while. At least
Alrighty.
until you get back to another town or your stuff is stolen. And you guys are able to get enough stuff for the horses too. It's like oats for the most part. Like it's pretty like standard fare. It is pretty easy to get that. I'm actually not really going to charge you for that. We'll just call it part of the cost of owning a horse. That's 75 gold. But okay, so you guys are traveling at, you said, a normal pace, right?
Yes.
Like regular travel pace? Okie dokie. So you guys are you're on the long road. So you're gonna make it a day out of Tribor, no problem whatsoever. The main trade routes, and this is part of the benefit. So yeah, you added a couple days to the trek by not going straight through the Eldine reaches from Tribor, but you did buy the benefit of incredibly unharrowing travel
Right.
It's mostly just like passing by other caravans who are heading to Tribor or through Tribor or what have you, passing caravans that are heading the same direction as you, but just a little bit slower because they have wagons and you don't. So it's not like the road is completely empty, but it's also not like, city packed, and it's not, there's too many people for it to be good for bandits, basically. And wild animals would not want to get this close to this many people. So that is a benefit of that as well. You guys are able to. So as you're getting to the end of your travel day, you spot like a clearing that would be good if you guys wanted to be alone. But there's also not too far off, as in like it wouldn't be unsafe to travel to it. You do see like a caravan circle of wagons that have like kind of camped together, kind of strength in numbers kind of thing. It's like an early RV park. Where would you guys like to camp for the evening?
I'd like to be on the outskirts of it personally.
Of the RV park?
Yeah.
Okay. Vendi and Xanalor, are you cool with that?
I have no objections.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys are kind of on the outskirts of the wagon circle. You're actually outside the circle. You go ahead and let's have you guys make perception checks for the evening. Xanalor, go ahead and make 2 for me. You don't really hear anything going on in the RV park that's like untoward or anything like that. Like, you don't go in there and meet people. You do hear them kind of ask like, why are those people not joining us around the fire? Whatever, all kinds of people on the road, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 23.
Nice. Okay. Xanalor?
7, 11.
7 and 11. And a 21 for Vendi. So Stock and Vendi, you guys notice during your watches that there are not a whole lot of wild animals coming nearby. There are like some like raccoons and foxes, and that brings a couple like coyotes in the area and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's just like raccoons trying to steal stuff from the caravan, and foxes trying to steal stuff from the raccoons, and coyotes trying to steal the life of the foxes and the raccoons.
I am spending a lot of time chasing around raccoons.
Well, remember, you can't do anything too physically active on your 2 hours of watch. It's supposed to be gentle.
With crossbow bolts.
All right, so Stock, he takes a time, and whenever a raccoon gets into like, not just in range, but into like, you're stupid for being here range, there's no longer a raccoon in range.
Very Stock.
Very Stock. Vendi, you notice the same thing. Like there's a lot of animals nearby, but it's like all like the scavenging kind of animals, not like the carrion feeders or the predators, except for, like I said, the few coyotes. But for the most part, they see people and they steer clear. Xanalor, you are kind of too caught up in the fact that, like, despite the fact that like you're awake through like the middling hours of the night, there does appear to be like a few people in the camp that like are still milling about. So like you kind of catch yourself like writing, you're like, you've got your book like kind of propped up, so you're writing in it, and you like peek over your hand every once in a while and watch what they're doing. So because of that, you don't really notice much of anything about anything going on around you other than that. Just kind of caught up in the people watching.
Yeah.
But ultimately everything is peaceful. You notice, Xanalor, through the first couple hours of your watch when you overlap with Stock, that you hear the sound of a crossbow being unloaded every once in a while, and a couple like chuckles from Stock as he makes contact with something.
Pistol he.
Pistol he. But yeah, so you guys wake up in the morning. The wagon, you smell like, kind of the smells of like an actual like breakfast. One of the benefits of traveling in a caravan is you've got people with, all kinds of storage options and things like that. So you smell like slabs of ham, Canadian bacon, some eggs and things like that. And you guys are able to, if you want to, partake. I'm not going to like force a role playing situation unless you really want one there to be. Otherwise, we will get back on the road.
I'm good to get back on the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Vendi.
I have no objections.
Cool. All right. Let's. You guys are traveling at the same pace again today.
Mm-hmm.
Don't see a reason why not.
Okay.
Trying to speed past on the long road is going to call more attention than it's worth.
Sure. I will say that as you're traveling, like you do see there are other people traveling solo by horse, like without a wagon and stuff like that. And you see a mix. You see like some people who are certainly not in a hurry to get anywhere. Like you see a wagon pass them. You see some people who are, zooming by. And then, you see other people traveling at the same pace as you. So while you do notice the people who do ride by, it's not like you would be the only people to be on the long road, like riding horses fast. Yeah, so you guys, you get your full 8 hours of travel in again for the day. And you arrive, basically a similar situation. You have an opportunity to stay in the caravan camp, outside of it, or on the fringe like you did the night before. But again, thankfully, due to being on the long road and in the caravan camp and stuff like that, really not a lot happens. Other than, the sort of constant threat of people showing up and kidnapping people who have tattoos, which you kind of get the gist is like, if you're on the move, you're probably good because the orders come from someone and then someone has to get those orders and then come find you. So like, there's not a lot of attacks on the road. You hear like every once in a while like the mention of the erasers like from people in the caravan as you're like kind of overhearing their conversations. But from what you can glean, it's not about like them being attacked on the road by them or anything like that. You do hear that like every once in a while like larger groups sometimes get stopped by a group of what people think are erasers. They're not sure or not, but they like ask people to like check dragon marks and stuff like that. And you hear like they say that like a lot of people are just like, fuck you, I don't have to show you anything. So it's just a lot of stuff like that, like people trying to take advantage. They're like people claiming to be erasers, whether they are or not, no one really knows, trying to take advantage of the situation. And then there's just the travel hardened people who are just like, you literally have no authority here. I could kill you as easily as you could kill me. Let's keep moving. So that day and night goes by without any issue. I don't know if you guys have or have not clicked long rest yet, but you can. And if you need to change any spells or anything like that, you'll have last night and tonight to have done that. All right. So travel day 3, just confirming travel pace.
Same, unless there's any objections.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably every now and then try to ride a little faster, but if they don't roll with me, I just sling back again.
We just continue our conversation, ignore them, and let them begrudgingly return.
Xanalor, can you roll? Sorry, Benny, go ahead. Say what you're gonna say.
I'm super used to Xanalor trying to go at his own pace.
Yeah, Xanalor, roll a d8 for me.
A D8.
I'm not leaving the guy with a big sword.
3.
You spend basically like a total of 3 hours today riding like pretty far ahead to the point where like the guys are kind of like they're back there a bit, and then you're like realize that like you're the only one really pushing the pace, and so you go back.
Yeah.
And Stock and Vendi, like you see Xanalor doing this like pretty much every day, and you're like, this is very on brand for the guy who wandered off on his own ahead of the group in a skeleton infested dungeon. So Xanalor
This
be
is
doing
also the
Xanalor
same
things.
guy that I think is solely to blame for Mask 100% coming up and destroying the ley lines and making us have to make the Mages College do the thing to fix what Xanalor broke.
The first time he
Wow.
rides off, just
Laying
shout
that at my
after him,
feet.
watch out for skeletons.
Laying that
Those
at
are some like really hefty accusations, considering Xandalor was just a part of the team that
Considering
started
exactly how much Evander does not know and
Yeah.
has never been filled in on, he's still of the perception that Stock, Xandalor, and Neves created the entire problem that we had to fix in that final boss fight.
Yeah.
Because no one
I-
has given him the information.
I also love the idea that like, I love the idea that like no one really has like said like, oh hey, like this is what happened, because like Stock and Xandalor are probably just like, oh, you know, like everything got fixed, like
Yep.
we weren't necessarily the ones who were duped. We thought we were doing the right thing. We didn't necessarily agree with Hildraith. And Vendy's just like, I think that you guys are responsible for what happened, but I'm not going to bring it up for the sake of like making sure that this travel is still peaceful. And so like, there's literally not been a single fucking thing said about it for months, despite the fact that like Stock and Xandalor are probably just like kind of hoping that Vendy doesn't ask about it, and Vendy's like, I'm not going to ask about it. I'm going to wait for them to tell me.
I mean, it's 100% coming down towards like the last time he said it, like the last thing he knows about it, he just goes to Nevis like, what the fuck did you all do? And like Nevis is like, hold on, we might have done a good thing. And then Mask comes out, and he goes like, yeah, we fucked up. And that was the last he's heard about anything.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
All right. So for the next day's travel, I'm guessing it's at the same pace again, unless you guys right now tell me otherwise.
Same pace.
For this day's travel, this is like where you start to trail off of the long road a bit. So this, you will actually make camp on your own for the evening. Xanil, roll a d8 for me.
Oh boy. 5.
All right. So Xanilor, you're alone even longer today, because that's sometimes just the way you like it. It gives you space to brood. So let's go ahead. I want to have you guys make your perception checks for the night for me, since you're no longer like on a caravan, basically.
Ooh. Perception 22.
Wow. Xanilor, how'd you do?
13 and 17.
Nice, nice. Vendi?
What was the roll again?
Perception. This is just for keeping watch.
15.
15. Yeah, so you guys are now kind of on your own. It's just the three of you and your horses, whatever it is that you did name them. And definitely like the sounds of wildlife are louder. It's getting the nights are kind of getting a little bit longer as the seasons are changing. I know I think last time I left off, like we were like entering fall from summer, like at the end of the Arcanicalism. So at this point, like we're kind of through harvest season and kind of getting into when winter is coming. It is not as so you guys are kind of like in the middle of the Eberron coast. Winters in this region are much more mild than if you were up in like Winter's Haven or north, even more so than there, where it's quite cold. But it definitely there's a drop in the average temperature, and the days are a little bit shorter, the nights are a bit longer, and the air has a much more crisp quality to it. Not that you're not like used to that, because you've spent quite a bit of time traveling back and forth through the Sword Mountains. But yeah, it's a bit like that. But so the evening does go by without consequence. I'm not gonna like throw a ton of encounters at you guys on travel, because I think that like most of the time they're just kind of like wasted stuff, unless it's like to enrich the story.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've gotten to a point where it really makes sense for you guys to get attacked.
Fair enough.
All right. So the next day, you guys, we're actually we're gonna fast forward.
Cool.
We're gonna have you guys reach sort of reach the edge of the Eldine reaches. The trees here are towering. As you kind of like make your way through what like was the high forest, it seems like the high forest is kind of like those trees have kind of like given way a bit. Like it's a lot of saplings and things like that, and you see that like it's probably because this nutrient dense forest, this wall, as far as you guys can see to the north and the south, of trees that are just huge. Like it's basically a wall of redwoods, right? Those are massive trees in
Yes,
California,
they are.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you guys get there. It's like the end of the day, and you can tell that like inside of what you believe to be the Eldine reaches, it is pitch black from the canopy in there at this time of evening.
Well, this is a thing.
You do see like from inside because of like the canopy cover and stuff like that, there is like kind of like a mist that has settled a little bit above the ground inside that doesn't necessarily like you see it kind of like moving on the breeze and stuff, but it hasn't really like once it like gets out of the Eldine reaches, it kind of dissipates as the like kind of warmer prairie grass area um, kind of dissolves that. But yeah, so that's where you guys end at this night. Let's have you guys, I want all of you to make your perception checks for the night for me.
Oh,
15 again.
23.
23, 15 again for Vendi.
2 3s.
2 3s. Okay. So, Stock, during your watch, you're kind of like, kind of caught up, almost like enamored by the sort of just the depth and scale of this forest that you've come upon. You keep your eyes peeled. You see like some deer and things like that making their way through the protection of the forest periodically, and then eventually it's just kind of quiet. You hear the sounds of night birds and creatures and things like that, but they're not really coming near you guys or anything like that. Xanalor, I don't know what you're doing, but it's not watching.
I'm just gonna say do like this journal entry that I kind of had. So I'll just say that's
Okay.
what my head was on.
Okay. Is that something you're sending me right now?
I'm working on just making sure I actually
Okay.
hit enter. Why won't it say? There. Is that a whisper? Or did I say that to everybody?
You sent a lot of it to everybody.
Well, oh well, who cares?
I won't
If you
read
put
it.
if you put like
I-
a space in it, like if you have like
Yeah.
a line space, it sends that as two messages. So like the first one was a whisper to me, and then after the line break is it's everyone
Okay.
else.
Oh, I see what happened. Okay. Yep, that's what happened.
Okay, I will read through this and figure out what this means or how it applies afterwards. Vendi, you noticed during your watch that the sounds of the animals have kind of stopped, and
That's
you get
concerning.
the sense that you're being watched, and this feeling is coming from like the large trees. But you don't see anything coming your way. As best you can tell, there's nothing that you can see that is causing like an issue or anything like that.
Look, you guys. See you. Okay? You're up in the trees. You're staring at us, trying to figure out what you're doing. We're camping. Okay? We are literally trying to rest so we can get to the other side of this forest as fast as possible. So if you're going to attack us, just do it now. Or if you're just watching what we're going to do, just let us be on our way. Okay? You're not that good at hiding. He's trying to deceive, if you haven't realized.
Yeah, no. I get what you're doing.
Mhm.
Why don't you make a deception or intimidation check for me?
That doesn't matter. They're both straight rolls. 3.
Try as you might, there's like a little bit of shakiness in your voice.
Mhm.
You're not sure if it's because of like just the kind of anticipation of what may come, or
Mhm.
if it's just you feeling, even as a druid and one who's like in tune with nature, you can't help but feel a little bit dwarfed, and kind of like suppressed by the sheer scale of the Eldine reaches.
If that's the case,
as that spell kind of dissipates, kind of like the waning of your spell is matching the rising of the sun. So as daybreak happens, your spell has fizzled out. Those dryads, they kind of return to they kind of leave like I'm imagining like the Spriggans in Skyrim, but
yes.
like
Yeah, they're very close to Spriggans.
when they dissipate, there's just like kind of like a little dust devil of leaves that kind of blow away and scatter, and like a
Mhm.
couple sticks left on the ground. Like you would never know unless you had seen it
Mhm.
happen that like something was there.
Mhm.
Um, I just kind of like the idea of them just like sort of stopping being and just returning to nature. Um,
I mean, these are fey creatures,
right.
so
They're fake creatures kind of like occupying a temporary space on our
mhm.
plane. So I think
Mhm.
like them like kind of leaving like that would like almost like, you see like the stick as it's like on the ground, like it starts to like bloom a leaf, like a small little leaves on it, like they leave
Mhm.
like just a little bit of extra like vitality where they were. That's really just for flavor.
Okay.
So yeah, daybreak, stock, you wake up, you see that Vendi, go ahead and make an insight check for me, stock.
Alrighty. I rolled a 2,
Two, okay.
which comes out to an 8.
An 8. You get the sense from Vendi that he's on edge just from his body language, but like you don't know
He's fine.
why. It could be just that underlying strain of the fact that nobody has talked about what happened to the Arcaniclism. It's something you've picked up on a few times, but you can tell that it's happening now. Xanalor, obviously, you were privy to the entire thing. Vendi shouting into the trees and making Spriggans and nothing happening. And make an insight check for me.
That is 14.
14. Yeah, so you know based on like your insider knowledge, so to speak, of the events of the evening that Vendi is on edge, a little nervous about the elves of the Eldine Reaches. So that said, now that you are all three awake, how do you proceed?
I want to break out my disguise kit.
Okay.
What are you gonna do?
And-
Hide from the trees?
I just want to play up like my elven features more than actually like making myself look like anybody else. Just like really
Okay.
make myself look elvish.
That's funny. Okay. Because you're a half elf, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So you put like a little bit of like dark blush on your cheeks to try to make your cheekbones stand out a little bit more.
Yeah.
There's like a little bit of like flesh toned wax that you're able to like put on your ears to make them a little pointier.
Something like that.
Sure. Okay. Anything else? Or what are you guys doing? We're essentially into like what are you doing, and then do it.
Well, these trees. Just for
I mean-
shits and giggles, I want to try and move through this forest a bit more stealthily.
If we want to move quietly, I can get us like an hour of being very good at being quiet.
I would not object to it.
I mean, I could also get us a handful of hours with that as well, but I'm betting we're talking about the same thing.
It's possible. And I cast Pass Without a Trace.
Okay.
We were.
All right, and then what are you guys doing? Just entering the forest?
Yes.
Mhm.
On horseback, taking the horses with you. Are the horses a part of Pass Without a Trace? Do you have enough slots for that? Is it 6 people? Is
Pass Without Trace is
it in a range around you?
it is
Yep.
masking you and your companions. Blah blah blah. Each creature within 30 feet of you.
And it looks like there's no maximum value.
Yeah.
Okay. Just each creature within 30 feet.
Mhm.
Okay, so then are you guys on horseback or leading your horses?
I'd say if we're going through this thick, it would be smarter for us to lead the horses.
Aw. I'm all set to ride, and then I see nobody else is.
Mhm.
We're sticking Xanor in the middle, though.
Because I think the slower we try to move, the more likely we're able to get the horses to take the path we want
Yeah,
on the first try.
sure. All right. What's the marching order? Is Zanalor in the middle since he's casting the spell?
That's
Yeah,
what I
I'll
would
go
say.
in the front again.
I'll go in the back.
That works.
Vendi, make a perception check for me.
Nope. Because it's a 14. I don't see shit.
You actually do see shit as you stop suddenly as you see in front of you strike like 4 arrows like in the ground in front of you, and you hear a voice call out from the forest. The source is hard to pinpoint. It says, "Halt! You will move no further. You have entered the dominion of the Riley Empire."
You didn't have to fire the arrows. We would have just stopped if you asked. We know we're outsiders and we're asking for refuge.
If that is true, you may maintain your possessions, but please lay down your arms. It is not hard to discern that you are fleet of foot and very capable.
Take the stick club and I go, "Oh, you're really afraid of this?" And I just throw it in front.
It's more about the pageantry.
But I understand that you're worried about us, but you clearly have us in terms of like tactics, weapons, and numbers. There's no way where if you assume that we are halfway intelligent people, we would want to fight you.
Large one at the back. Does he speak for you?
I've just been ignoring the whole conversation after they said lay down your arms, and I just tie him to the horse, but I stay within 10 feet of the horse.
That shall have to suffice.
So that way, if shit goes sideways, I can just use my extra long, gangly spaghetti arms to grab my weapons.
As a virtue of good faith, there's my weapon right there. The elf behind me doesn't have need for weapons.
He's magic.
However, our protector here, he understands a good fight and a foolish one. He's not going to use them.
The magic one might try to irradiate you, though, and not apologize for it.
So, as you're kind of like pointing at your staff, Vendi, you draw your own attention back towards it as you've kind of been scanning your surroundings for where the voice is coming from, and you see 6, but hear more.
Mm-hmm.
Elves dressed in seeming like ranger kind of scout garb, like it's a lot of like mossy leather armor and bows and whatnot. They the one who appears to have been speaking motions to the trees and says, I hope you are true to your word, because we 6 are not all there is.
If we lie, we know it's a lie that ends in our death. Like, once again, assume we're halfway intelligent, and we would not travel through these forests looking to pick a fight, because of a fight we'll quickly lose.
I feel that you're taking offense to pointing out that you know that we're doing what we're doing, when really it's just us being safe and me playing my cards on the table.
That's a complete misread. What I'm trying to say here is we understand why you're making your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Please understand that we would be unwise to draw arms against you. So therefore, our weapons are already a moot point. Can we just please understand that neither one of us is trying to offend the other?
Deal.
Okay, good.
And that is where we're going to leave off for the week, actually. I did not anticipate you guys wanting to go through the Eldine Reaches, or actually you guys wanting to get captured, or then you guys not wanting to be captured and killing all the guards and then questioning one. You guys have kind of gone off book for me a little bit, and I appreciate it. But there is some work that needs to be done on my end. That said, we will be off next week as 3 of us have disc golf tournaments.
And I also have preseason.
Screw you guys. Right. I'm going to make my own disc golf tournament with blackjack and hookers.
I hope you do play next weekend, Mike.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we will pick up with you guys meeting with those elves of the Eldine Reaches of the Riley Empire, and I will have much more things fleshed out, like names and stuff like that. So nice job today, guys.
That's actually amazing timing because my headset just died.
Perfect. So we will see you guys next time. As always, Sic Semper Lincoln Logs.